good. So here's our schedule for today. It's going to be quite fast-paced, especially compared to yesterday, but it's a good opportunity to see what different societies are doing. It's going to last a good few hours, so feel free to sort of drop in and out because we know it's a long time to sit throughout. But we recommend having a look at the society, seeing what's happening this year because it's going to be so different. So kicking us off is going to be the Norwich Undergraduate Surgical Society. So I'll hand it over to you guys. I think Aga and Peace are in the...
Hello. Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. My name's Talks and Sir from NUSS, and we've got 2 videos to play, and we're looking forward to answering your questions in the chat. So I'll just get on with that. One second. Yeah, this one first.
Hello and welcome. My name is Aga. I'm your Surgical SOC Secretary this year, and I'm also your Regional Ambassador for ACIT. ACIT is the Association of Surgeons in Training and is an independent professional body and registered charity which works to promote the highest standard in surgical training. We are the second largest society, surgical society in the UK. Our aim is to promote excellence in surgical training and benefit junior doctors, medical students, and patients alike. Membership is just £40 a year and includes an array of different things, from our conference to our educational opportunities such as our free webinar series, and also includes discount on courses and books, etc. This slide includes some of what we've got going on this year. So there's essay competitions, we have the ACIT Virtual Surgical Summit, and in the bottom left is our very popular Career in Surgery event that's upcoming but already sold out. We'll be running another one in November, so just look out for that. So we have all that and more going on, and we also plan to collaborate with Norwich Surgical SOC to run some local events for you guys over the coming year. Feel free to visit our website or contact me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome to our first ever virtual society fair video. My name is Murmur. Gives you a little glimpse into what we've done in the past and what's to come for the new academic year.
Hi, my name is Kerry and I'm the Vice President for Norwich Surgical Society for the coming year. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of our new students as well as returning students. We've had to make some adjustments and changes to some of our events we're running this year, but we do have some really exciting things planned for everyone. And we look forward to meeting all of you in September.
Hello, I'm Isabel. I've been Publicity Officer for the last 2 years. So now we're going to talk through some of the examples of the events that we have on offer if you were to join our society.
Hi, my name is Ione and I am the Mentor Mentee Officer for this year. So the Mentor Mentee programme is essentially a programme which puts students into contact with surgeons at the Norfolk and Norwich Hospital in a speciality that they are interested in. It's a fantastic, unique opportunity to gain further insight into a speciality of your choice, and will allow you to build relationships with surgeons in that department, giving you the exposure that you may not necessarily get from placement alone. It's also a great way to get involved in research and also to start building your surgical portfolio. I personally had a great experience from being introduced to surgeons through this programme, and I'm really passionate to continue this for future students. If this all sounds interesting to you, please come along to our introductory evening, which we'll be hosting at the beginning of term. I really recommend that you come along, learn more and get involved. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Marcus. I'm the Surgery for Schools Officer for the Surgical Society. So the Surgery for Schools programme is one that as a society we're very proud of. It's catered towards local sixth form students in Norwich and Norfolk, and it gives them an opportunity to practice basic surgical techniques such as suturing and knot tying. It also gives them an opportunity to ask current UEA medical students about what it's like studying medicine and studying UEA, as well as giving them kind of a taste into what a career in surgery and medicine is like. So as a member of the society, you're more than welcome to volunteer at these events. It's a good opportunity for you to practice your basic surgical techniques. It's a great addition to the CV, and it's quite fun, you know, talking to students that are in a position that you were a few years back. So we'd love to have you join the society, and we'd love to see you at the Surgery in Schools events.
So Surgical Society also offers many more events on top of the ones which has been mentioned, including more practical events such as beginners and advanced suturing sessions. So this is when we get plastic surgeons to come in from the local hospital, and they kindly teach our members how to suture. We also provide many revision events and mock-oskies for all years, so this is a great way to gain some confidence before you sit your exams, and it's really good because older years come in and they kind of give their advice on how to get the top marks possible. Another event that we're really proud of is our Women in Surgery talk. So this is when we get female surgeons to come in and they talk about how they got to where they are. So it's a really good way to gain some insight into a life in surgery, and also a good chance to network with some of the surgeons in the local hospital. So hopefully this video has encouraged you to join our society, and hopefully I'll see you in September.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It was a really good video, really well put together. We've had a few questions, as you can see in the Q&A coming up, so people just asking about how much is membership. If you're able to stick in the Q&A and in the chat just to keep answering these questions, that would be great.
Sure, that's good.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Right.
We'll just hand over now to UEA MedSoc, so Sports and Exercise Medicine.
Hi.
Guys, I'll hand it over to you.
Cheers, thank you. So I'm just going to share my screen. So my name's Roya. I'm president of Sports and Exercise Medicine Society.
And I'm Elliot, and I'm the secretary this year.
So we're just going to quickly take you through our PowerPoint, if I can figure out how to play it.
Should be slideshow, and then play. Okay.
Yeah.
Can everyone see that? Okay, is that all right?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, got it. All right.
Okay.
Brilliant. So welcome to Sports and Exercise Medicine Society.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about what sports and exercise medicine is. So it's a relatively new specialty. So it only became a properly recognised specialty in 2005. So it's kind of a really up and coming area. It's kind of mainly about the treatment of sport and physical activity related injuries. So there's a lot of kind of input with paediatrics there, and also with surgical specialties like orthopaedics. And then there's also this kind of other arm to it, which is more about kind of preventing illness over cure. So you have that kind of public health message of keeping active, and there's a lot of sort of rehabilitation after, particularly with neurological injuries like stroke and so on. So it's kind of got those two main arms to it. And as I've kind of touched on before, it's relevant to lots of other specialties and indeed other potential careers. So, you know, orthopedics or physiotherapy, but also speech and language therapy and other things too. So it's really kind of broad.
Cool. So the reason you should join, well, we are a very friendly group of people. Our society, we kind of have members from second year through to fifth year, so absolutely anybody's welcome to join. Every year we run a pitch side first aid course. So what this entails is it's a 2-day course, and in theory it sounds long, but actually it provides you with a 3-year kind of certificate and qualification, where you then have the ability to go to any kind of sports games, be it locally, be it with UEA, and you can be the first aider. So obviously it's a really good opportunity if you're interested in football, lacrosse, anything, you could be the first aider for that game. So yeah, obviously that's a great experience, and at the same time you also make money, so it's kind of a win-win scenario. We also this year are going to do a collaboration with PhysioSoc. So this is the first year we actually have a physiotherapy representative, and so kind of we're trying to collab with them a bit more because they're very heavily involved in sports and exercise medicine. So last year we did a collab with them, and we got the Norwich Football Club doctor and physio to come and do a talk about what it's like kind of being a doctor or being a physio in sports and exercise medicine, and just being kind of in that specialty. So yeah, they can answer any questions as like what it's like kind of being in that sector. And this year, we're going to do quite a new thing. We're also going to collab with MedSoc, and we're going to try to do this obviously online with regards to neuromuscular disorders management in paediatrics and kind of surgical and kind of medical treatment as well. And we're hoping to get in a trauma consultant and also a orthopedic consultant as well, pediatric orthopedic consultant. So that should be very good. And 2 of our committee members actually intercalated in sports and exercise medicine just this year gone. So they obviously are very good at, well, they know everything about sports and exercise medicine. So if you have any questions for them, we're hoping to do that. If you are interested in learning more about the specialty or just about what it's like intercalating as well. So please come to that. And yeah, it's obviously a great way to network and meet like-minded people. So if you're interested in sports, if you're interested in sports, anything, exercise, nutrition, health, obviously it would be great if you could join our society. So these are our contact details. Obviously email us with anything, any questions you have. We also have a Facebook page, and alternatively you can just find us and ask us, any of us directly, any questions. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, guys. I see there are some questions being answered by the surgical SOC in the Q&A. I'm just going to voice one of these questions because we've got a little bit of time. Someone's asked, are you guaranteed to do first aid at events?
So the way it works is you get like a qualification or certificate which allows you to then, essentially it says you're qualified to then provide first aid at those events.
Yeah.
It doesn't get organised through us whether you actually can then go and do that event or not. That's done separately. I think, I'm not entirely sure where.
Yeah, so I've actually emailed the guy that is in charge of it, and we're still able to do it even with everything that's going on. And it wouldn't be virtually, actually would be in person. So you are able to come, but it is a first come, first served basis. So you have to be quite quick on kind of signing up for it. Like if you are one of the first people, then you would be able to do it. And then you can email, once you've done that, we can then email you the kind of details to get in touch with the sports park. And then through there, you can kind of organize, and actually you'll probably be able to be the first aider for the sports games. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, definitely. And just one more before we move on. Someone's just asked, how much is membership?
Oh, sorry, I should have said. So membership is £3.
Great. Perfect. And is that £3 a year, is it, or £3 just in as a member?
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is an absolute bargain. It's fantastic.
So cheap.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
So we're just going to move on now to Norwich PCP, so pre-hospital care programme.
Hi, sorry, just struggling to unmute myself there. Just bear with me 1 second while I share the PowerPoint.
Sounds good.
So my name's Emily, and I'm the president of Norwich Pre-Hospital Care Programme. Are you able to see that PowerPoint there?
Yeah, it looks good.
Thank you. So I'm just going to really quickly run through this PowerPoint. It shouldn't take too long. So firstly, what is pre-hospital care? So it's basically the care that patients receive from generally emergency medical services up until the point where they reach hospital. So as you can imagine, it's a very broad range. So it can be anything from battlefield medicine to covering sports events, covering festivals, and wider things like disaster relief, and even things like cruise ship medicine. The important thing to note is that this is a multidisciplinary response. So it's not just going to be doctors involved. You might have paramedics, nurses, midwives, fire brigade, any number of services that you can imagine. They'll probably be involved in one way or another. So what kind of things do we do as a society? So the main thing that we do is a lot of expert talks. So we get talks from experts within the field of pre-hospital medicine, and they can share insight onto things that they do on a daily basis. And we might have some careers talks. So if that's something that you're interested in going into, definitely keep an eye out for those. And also things like intercalation and elective nights, if you're interested in intercalating in that area as well. Another thing that we do is aiding emergency services with their training. So these photos were from last year when we helped out with the training for the ambulance and fire brigade in the east. So I don't know if you can see in the third photo, but there was a huge car pileup, and we provided casualties and bystanders to get cut out of vehicles and just help with their training. So there are a number of training events like this that we get involved in. Another thing that we do a lot is casualty simulations. So these are ways of simulating patient environments, but it's a controlled environment. So you get to do hands-on experience and have a go at treating patients in scenarios that you wouldn't normally be able to, but without the risk of hurting anyone or preventing good medical care. So that's always a great thing to get involved in. And another thing is conferences. So these photos are from the 2017 conference. Our conference last year unfortunately couldn't go ahead due to COVID, but we are planning another one in 2021. So do keep an eye out on social media when we announce the date for that. So that's basically PCP in a nutshell. If you want to get involved, be sure to follow us on social media. Facebook is generally where we'll keep you up to date with any upcoming events that we have. Society membership can be purchased through the Student Union website, same as all the other societies. Membership is £3 for the whole year, and that will get you reduced or free discount, reduced or free entry to our events. So thank you very much, and we look forward to meeting you. If you have any questions, again, post them in the chat, or if you'd prefer, feel free to message us on social media. But that is everything.
Great, thanks, Emily. Just had one question. I think you've covered it, but it'd be good to go over again. Do you have to be a medic to join PCP?
No, absolutely not. Like I said, this society is for any kind of, well, not even healthcare students, but we do have nurses, midwives, paramedic students getting involved. And also we have some students that aren't from any medical backgrounds, they just have a slight interest in it, or maybe would just like to be casualties or bystanders for some of our events. So yeah, absolutely everyone can get involved.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna, if you're able to stay in the chat and answer any questions that sort of stay late, that'd be great. Hi Joe, so we're just gonna move on to Cambs University OTC now. So I'll hand over to Joe.
Thanks very much, Rory. Hi guys, my name's Joe. I'm a final year student, and today I'm going to be talking about a very different type of society, which is the Cambridge University Officers Training Corps. Now, this is a society which runs across all of the UK. So we're a nationwide society, but specifically I'm talking about our branch in Cambridge, today. So Cambridge UOTC has bases in Norwich and Cambridge, and it's basically an Army Reserve unit for university students. Now, I know that might sound a little bit intense, but actually it's a fantastic society, and it's probably one of the best kept secrets at university. So as I said, we're nationwide. We're made up of university students who have no commitment to join the army after university. It's just something to do whilst you're at uni, earn some money, gain some amazing experience, which I'll go through today. And like I said, no commitment to join the military afterwards. So what do UOTCs do, and what are they all about? So UOTC stands for University Officers Training Corps. It's a British Army initiative which is aimed to encourage students to gain leadership development skills and hopefully join the military afterwards, but of course that's not a requirement. So what kind of stuff do? We do some military training on the weekends. None of this takes place during the week, and it never gets in the way of your studies. It's all either at the weekends or in your holidays. And there's a wide range of stuff that we do, which I'll talk more about as we go through. Most of it's focused around leadership development. So this is a society which really tries to build you into a better person, give you the skills which are highly transferable to medicine. I've definitely grown massively as a leader through Cambridge UOTC, and I've also gained leadership qualifications as well, which look fantastic on your CV. You also have the chance to do loads of sports and adventurous training exercises all over the world, again, some of which I'll go into, and it's just like no other university society. We also do loads of really fun social events, and you'll meet some amazing people through the UOTC. So my experience in the UOTC, so as I said, I'm a final year student, fifth year student now rather, intercalating at the moment, but I joined in my first year, and I'm going to give you guys an overview and explain as we go of what this society is all about. So I found out about this through somebody I knew who had also joined, and I signed up through the website, and I attended an open day, had a medical check, and then I went on a 2-week training course to introduce me to what it's all about. It's not all war-y, guns and shooting, although that stuff is definitely a big part of it. There's loads more to it. On that 2-week trip that I did in the summer of my first year, as well as getting paid for the whole time I was there, I also got a chance to do mountain climbing, walking, kayaking, etc. Later on that year, I then got sent on a skiing trip over the Christmas holidays, so I didn't have to take any time off uni, and I got paid to learn to ski, which was fantastic. If you can already ski, that's great. There's higher level kind of skiing that you can do with army instructors, and again, if you can't, then they'll teach you all about it. Then the kind of normal day-to-day stuff. So there's 7 weekends over the training year, and there's no minimum commitment to attend any of them. However, if you do, you'll learn military training skills, leadership skills, all kinds of really, really transferable stuff. And that will take up the bulk of your year. But like I said, there's no minimum commitment and it's really flexible. Over my holidays, I also took some incredible trips all over the world. So this was Jordan. I got a chance to go out to Jordan twice and train with the Jordanian Special Forces, which was fantastic. Like, again, no other university society is going to give you this experience and pay for it as well. I also sailed around the Canary Islands. Again, there was about 3 or 4 medics on this boat, so there's plenty of us go out and do it. And this happens all throughout the year. I then chose to go on to do Army Officer Selection Board and join the Army as a doctor, and now have been awarded a £75,000 bursary, which is available to all medical students should they want to apply for it. So I'd highly recommend if financially you're looking for some extra support throughout university, this is an amazing opportunity to get involved in. So I know this sounds a little bit confusing. You know, why am I getting paid for all this? What is this all about? I'll go through a few what OTC is and what it isn't, and feel free to ask any questions, and I'll answer them as we go along in the chat. So what it is, it's really fun. It might sound really intense, but it's really not. It's a very gradual, safe place to learn loads of new skills. Nobody who's joined has ever done any of this kind of stuff before, or at least not to the level that you'll be trained to. But you know, you are, as I said, taught gradually. And it's worth mentioning now as well, you won't actually be deployed as a soldier during this time. You can't be. It's not that job. So you're not actually signing up to join the real army, but it's a good way to learn the skills that are involved in that. It's also a really great way to meet people, especially this year. I appreciate with COVID that's going to be more difficult for you guys. But we will be training in person, we will be doing traveling, we will be going out and do that stuff because we're allowed to. So it's a really good way to meet people. And it is the best job you'll ever have. I've earned about £10,000 just through doing the training, as well as that bursary I met as well. And there's loads of different medical students involved. So I definitely not think you're going to be the only medic there, because there are always lots of us. So what it isn't, it's not a massive time commitment. There's no minimum commitment, and there's only 7 training weekends a year, and you don't have to attend all of them. Especially seeing as the LCR is going to be shut this year, it'll probably be a good chance to get out and do something different on your weekend as well. It's also not competitive. Anyone who can pass the medical test can join, and it's completely free, and all trips are paid for. So I can tell you're all massively inspired. So how do you go about joining? So have a search for us on social media, search us on Google. You'll find our expression of interest form on the Army website, which you can fill out. And like I said, there's no requirement for you to join at that stage. It's just saying that you're interested, you'd like to find out a little bit more, and one of our reps will be in touch to discuss the next steps should you want to attend an open evening. If you also have any questions, then like I said, use the chat or email me or find me on social media, and I'll be more than happy to talk about the OTC. As those who know me probably know, I do like to try and get people involved as much as possible. So yeah, thanks for your time, and please do send me some questions if you have any.
Yeah, there's a number of really good questions in the chat, so keep them coming, and they'll get answered throughout the talk. So yeah, that was really good. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks, Rory.
So we're going to move on now to the Murmur.
Yep. Yep, not too shabby. All right. Beginning. All right, so my name's Aidan Nicholson. I'm an intercalating student and the new co-chief editor of The Murmur, which, as you can see, is the magazine for medical students made by medical students. So what is it? It's, you know, a student magazine, right? I mean, there isn't that much to really explain about it. But hang on a sec. Can't see screen. Can you see the screen?
Are you trying to share your screen?
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. All right. Can you see it now? Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Ah, fuck.
All okay?
Yeah, all good.
Sounds good, yeah.
All right, sound. Sorry about that. So where was I? It's a student magazine. Yeah. So we'll get people who want to actually get an article printed, then they'll come, then we'll have people who want to do illustrations, they'll want to help with design, they'll want to do whatever they want to do, and then we'll get it out for people to read, obviously in digital form in today's climate. So the big thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is that although it is a medicine magazine, I don't want it to be just full of medicine and the NHS and all that. Okay, it's a magazine, it's not a journal, it's not anything like that. Okay, what I want is people who are actually interested in topics not only in medicine but in anything. Okay, it can be politics, it can be sport, it can be food, it can be video games, it can be movies. People in the past have done things such as book reviews. Thankfully it wasn't Do No Harm or Being Mortal or any of those books that everyone has had to read at least once to get into this place. But so I kind of just don't want people to look at it as though it's a piece of coursework and just say, oh, okay, there you go on the CV. Because if you're actually passionate about a topic and excited and you produce an article which is well balanced and thought through, then you're going to be accepted with welcome arms here. All right, so on the slide there's a couple of topics that are probably going to be inside of our first issue. Like palate cleanse will be something not to do with medicine, which can basically be distributed to people who want to actually write for the magazine. So you get palate cleanse to talk about something that ain't about medicine. Yeah, simple as. So why should you care? First of all, it's free. Okay, there's no subscription. To be honest, I'm not even sure if we're actually a proper society, to be honest, but never mind. But it's not free, there's no subscription or anything like that. All year groups are welcome. To be honest, we want more people from more year groups. We don't care if you're in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't even care if you're not a medic, to be honest. As long as you actually have something to say, you can get on it, okay? So the roles that are wanted, which we'd want people to do it for each issue that are going to be out, will be an illustrator, a designer, and journalist is just somebody who actually just wants to write at least one article per issue, okay? But you can just join in and write one article and that's it, you're done, okay? So why should you actually care? It's cathartic, you get people to actually read what you're writing, which is a little bit satisfying. It can hone your essay writing skills so that, it's a bit like the essays you're gonna have to write during medical school, so it can help with that. You build connections with other people, peers, people in different years that you might not actually get to work with in any other scenario, as well as interviewing people such as, the head of year groups, the Alice Burns, I think is the head of medicine or something. Get to interview doctors and things like that, just build relationships. And also, it looks nice on the CV. So get in touch with us today. Do it via email, Instagram, Facebook, whatever's your poison. But we want you to get in contact at least before the 10th of October, because as you can see with the time frame, we want to try and recruit as many people as possible with their ideas before then, and then start saying the topics and the deadlines for actually writing the articles by the 10th of October, okay? So, yeah, that's about it. Cheers.
Thanks very much, Aidan. Yeah, so there are a number of questions still going. We've got over 30 questions now answered by different societies. If you're able to hang around and keep answering those questions, that would be wonderful. We've now got a 5-minute break. Bit of time to just a little bit of a relax through a long day. Feel free to go and pop and get a drink. Keep having a look at the Q&A section and having a look at those answers to all the questions that you've got. And then we'll move on at past. So, oh, it is past, sorry. No, 35 past, sorry. So we'll keep going at 1:30, like I said. For those that have joined, because I recognise there's quite a lot more of you now than we started off, which is really good. I'll go over how it runs again, just so it doesn't look like we've completely frozen. So this is a Zoom webinar, so your interaction and involvement is completely up to you. You can anonymise yourself and ask some questions. It's not compulsory. You can sit back and watch if you want, but we do recommend that you get involved because it's a good opportunity to speak to these societies directly, which is a sort of rarity now. So you can type your questions into the Q&A function, and society members will either reply to them by typing out, or during the talk they'll answer them live. We really recommend that you get involved in this. There's the chat function that's still going, so feel free to talk to your course mates on that. And just a reminder that this is recorded, just so that it can go up on Blackboard and you can look at it at a later date, and those people that aren't here can also take a look and see what the societies are up to. If anyone's got any concerns about that, committee members especially, feel free to contact us on UEA MedSoc1@gmail.com, and we can have a chat about that. But yeah, we've still got a couple of minutes, so we will get going again at 35 past. Right, back again. Right, super quick pit stop, so a quick break there. We've got Teddy Bear Hospital now that are going to be our next speakers. Is the panelist in the chat?
Yep.
Hi Neve, so it's over to you.
So hi everyone, I'm Neve. I'm one of the 4th year students and I am Health and Safety Officer for Teddy Bear Hospital this year.
Hi everybody, my name's Rowan. I'm studying occupational therapy and I am the treasurer of Teddy Bear Hospital this year. So Teddy Bear Hospital, it's a worldwide charity and we aim to educate children on the role of doctors to help alleviate childhood anxieties surrounding the medical environment.
So at UEA, we normally go into the local primary schools and we run events where we have various stations. So there's fun and educational activities for the children on topics like healthy eating, human skeleton, preparing Ted for his operation, and stethoscope making with the kids.
So during the sessions, the children will each bring their teddy bear to our events and to be seen by our teddy bear doctors. The teddy bear doctors can prescribe relative treatments for the teddy bears that include hugs and plasters.
So this year, obviously with COVID, it's going to be slightly different. At the minute, we're not able to go into the schools for the first term at least. So we're going to create online webinar sessions to present to the schools virtually.
As a society, we've also teamed up with Headucate in creating a webinar for the primary schools about mental health and wellbeing for children. Participating in these webinars will be a great experience and it will give you not only experience working with children, but it really helps you to build your confidence whilst benefiting the children to become more confident in a healthcare environment.
So there's no pressure to come to lots of events. You certainly don't have to come to all of them, but anyone who wants to join the society can sign up to any sessions that suit you. But all members this year have to attend an online training event just because we're going to be doing the online webinars so that you can become familiar with how we're going to run the online sessions.
And we really do hope to see lots of new people sign up this year. I mean, it's a great way to make new friends and connections with other healthcare students.
Yeah, and like all the other societies, make sure that you follow us on our social medias. So we have a new Instagram page and join our Facebook page for updates and information on when events and training sessions will be happening. And we're all very friendly, so don't be afraid to ask us any questions or any concerns that you have. Just a few FAQs that we thought would probably come up as well. We usually run the events on a Wednesday afternoon or sometimes on a Saturday morning to fit in the rainbow groups, but it's, like I said, not required to come to every event.
Another frequently asked question is this society just for medical students? No, it definitely is not. I mean, on this year, I'm doing occupational therapy. We've also got a speech and language therapist on our committee this year, and we're really just trying our best to get the society well known to other healthcare students as well.
The membership this year is going to be $250 for the whole year. It can be purchased on the SU website, just like all the other societies.
And how do we get to the schools? Last year when we were attending the schools, we'd either use the UEA fleet cars or we'd travel in taxis, and this would all be paid for by the society/uni, so there was no need to worry about any travel costs.
Yeah, I think that's all of our FAQs. If there's any other questions in the chat.
Thanks, guys. That's a really good idea with the FAQs because you answered some of the questions in the chat as you're going along, so really good. Yeah, if you're able to stick around and answer any more that pop up over the next few minutes, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So moving on, we've got UEA GP Society now.
Hiya.
Hiya. Over to you.
Yep, so hi, my name's Christine. I'm the president of GP SOC. I'm currently intercalating here after finishing 4th year. So GP SOC is a society where you can gain an appreciation for general practice and insight into new developments in the world of GP, and also help you to figure out if it's the right career path for you. Traditionally, GP SOC has put focus onto first years in terms of running a mock OSCE, which is the clinical exam, and we've run that for the past few years successfully. And recently, we've also done an introduction to primary care placements, and this is to help you get the most out of primary care and give you some advice and tips and tricks. Additionally, we do career events, and the plan this year is to bring in speakers to talk about the MRC GP exam, which is an exam that you take to be a GP, and also to talk about particularly the GP application process and how you actually become a GP. And another event we are planning is to showcase GP careers that span farther than just salaried positions. And we have reduced our membership prices to reflect that most of our events will be online. So it's from £3 to £2 now. And the membership does allow priority access to our events, as spaces may be limited because we're using online platforms such as Zoom. But we do believe that most of our events will be online this year. We also believe that one of the values of being a GP is about serving the community, and to reflect this, we are donating full proceeds of our membership to Norwich Food Bank this year. We are also planning to undertake projects around awareness and education around LGBTQ+ issues that GPs may be less proactive on, such as misgendering and education around trans patients. And we also are hoping to be involved in a harassment reporting tool for GP placements, especially around racial discrimination. And we hope to be working on this with the BAME working group this year. So that's a roundup of what we're trying to achieve this year. Please do find us on social media. Yep, so the membership's £2. It's normally £3, but we reduced it to £2 this year. And please do sign up on the UASU website as before with all the other societies. Our first event is, we're planning to be on the 8th of October, so 2 weeks from now on Thursday, and that will be the introduction to primary care, which will be online. And as I said before, this is to help you prepare for placement. So normally we've done a few sessions on, we break you into groups, and one session may be on how to take a history from patients, another would be and some examination techniques, some easy examination techniques that you can try. Obviously, from this being online, we may not be able to do a hands-on approach, obviously, but we will be trying to give you as much advice as possible, as it can be quite daunting to go on primary care placement for the first time. Thank you for listening. That's all from me.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It sounds like quite a different year, but it's good to hear that there's so much stuff going on, even if it is using virtual means, which is really good. Yeah, so some more questions still flowing, which is really good to see. I think another society now that first years will be really interested in. So we're going to go over to Rheumatology and Orthopaedics Society.
Hello. Let's just make sure this is all working. Can you see the slides?
Yeah, we can.
Great. So my name is Luke, and I should be with Kishan. So I am the president of Orthopaedics and Rheumatology Society this year. And Kishan?
I am the conference coordinator for this year.
So we're a society that sort of works around, obviously, rheumatology and orthopaedics. So this is a generally first year topic. So we try and cover lots of sort of revision things around the main topics of orthopedics rheumatology. So we have sort of simple joint disease, fracture workshops, and then other common things like that, which will help you sort of supplement your learning in first year. So I thought I'd show you some pictures of what we typically do. So these are some events from last year. These are mostly from our conference that ran, which was a National Undergraduate Orthopaedics and Rheumatology Conference, which had over 100 members from different universities and different subjects. So it doesn't have to be just medical students. So as you can see, we had opportunities for people to do stuff that they normally wouldn't do in medical school. So this can be sort of bone screwing, it can be plastering and casting, and then we also had opportunities for innovative new medical techniques. So we had VR, and we also had the authors of the Unofficial Guide to Medicine there. So we have a lot of different connections and opportunities for you. So Kishan?
Yeah, so the membership this year, we've reduced to £2.50 because of course, normally we'd be doing a lot of these sessions face-to-face, but it's impossible this year. So what we're going to try and do is do a lot of our sessions online, but the main aim for us is to make sure that everybody in first year should have another support kind of system if they are struggling with understanding topics and other theories at med school. So we're going to be doing revision sessions and kind of joint examination workshops. Now, normally, obviously, it'd be easiest to do these in person, but we're going to try and do ways that try and come up with ways to get around these. And we'll try and do some smaller group kind of work, just so it's a bit easier, so you guys don't feel like you have to ask questions in front of 100 other people on a Zoom call. We'll try and kind of condense it down and give you opportunities to ask us questions on a more personal basis. We do mock OSCEs every year, so this is basically just going to help you prepare for your actual OSCEs. And every year we have something called the famous Big Fat Module 2 quiz, which is basically just a quiz, and we go through all the different kind of questions and potential kind of question formats that you might get in your exams, not just in first year, but throughout the whole year. So that's a really popular event. And if we can, COVID permitted, we're going to try and run another conference this year. The conference was a great success last year and we got nothing but good feedback. So we're hoping that we can do the same this year. But again, it all depends on COVID. But this year it's going to cost £2.50. And last year, non-members ended up paying anywhere between £15 to £20 for our event. But members were able to get in for just the membership cost. And obviously with COVID and the Zoom capacities, we will be having to prioritize our members first. So I do highly recommend that you guys get membership for this year, because it is essentially, there's the main kind of medicine part of this year is rheumatology and orthopedics. So this society is basically perfect for you to have all the revision resources and the support you need for this topic. And we've had great feedback in the previous years about our sessions being really useful and supportive, and it's really made a difference to a lot of students in their ability to understand and grasp the topics for year one medicine at UEA.
Thank you, Kishan. So if anyone has any questions, put it up in the Q&A now. Otherwise, follow us on social media. So the best places are Facebook and Instagram for our most recent or upcoming events and to ask us questions and interact with us. Thank you very much and take care. Any questions?
Yeah, so really important module for year one. So definitely have a look at Rheumatology Society. Like I said, it's a really big part of your first year and the clinical side of things. So, yeah, thank you very much, guys. Moving on now to Dermatology and Plastic Society.
Yeah.
So it's over to you, Beth.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my name is Bethany and I'm Vice President of the Dermatology and Plastic Society this year. So our society is an educational society and it costs £3 to join for the year. So dermatology is a speciality that you'll be studying in second year. So why would you want to join our society? So for example, in second year, it'd be particularly useful as we hold a revision event every module. So for every rotation, we do a different revision event and a mock OSCE with Haem Soc, as you studied dermatology with haematology. And also, in particular this year, for first years in particular, we're going to be looking at holding some careers in dermatology and plastic surgery talks with some consultants from the hospital, as well as we team up with Surgical Society. So those events probably will be looking at 2021, depending on the coronavirus situation, where we can do in-person practical workshops that include punch biopsies and other suturing skills as well. And if you're a member of our society, you'll get that as a reduced rate. And it's definitely an event that first years look to go to. We've had some good interest in that. And in particular this year, after everything that went on during lockdown, we're looking at holding a event in particular looking at the BAME patient's presentation with a consultant from the hospital. So hopefully that's going to be in the next few months. So if you join our society, you'll get access to that via Zoom at a reduced rate as well, or for free. Yeah, and also, this year, we're new for this year, we worked on making a revision bank, looking at 100+ sites, spot diagnosis, PowerPoint, and practice revision questions that you'll get access to if you're part of the society for free. And if you enter before the end of October, so if you join our society before the end of October, you get a chance to win an ICT dermatology textbook, which is really useful for second year, and it's worth 30 quid, so it's definitely worth joining. And also a physical copy of the dermatology handbook from the BAD, so the British Association of Dermatologists. So we've got 30 of those in stock now, so the first 30 people to join will get one free. So that's basically everything that you have online in a little handbook, and it's really useful to carry around. So yeah, if you have any questions, then don't hesitate to ask any questions or join our Facebook group, which is UEA Dermatology and Plastic Society, and follow us on Instagram for weekly derm quizzes and updates. So every week, a member of our committee will be posting a little quiz, maybe spot diagnosis or something to test your knowledge on dermatology, which is good to, well, if you want to prepare for second year or if you're just interested in general. We're all friendly, so yeah, reach out. If you have any questions, ask. Sorry, that was really quick.
So there's a question just here, Beth, from someone asking, is it worth joining in first year if you're interested in plastics?
Yeah, definitely. So we have events like for dermatology and events, we've got a plastics event officer as well. So we do work with the, like as I said, Surgical Society, with the plastic surgery, surgeons at the NNN to do those practical workshops, and you'll be able to access those for free. So hopefully we'll be able to hold some at the beginning of next year, like 2021, depending on the coronavirus case, or we can do some online events as well. So we're looking at partnering with Surgical Soc again this year.
Great, wonderful. Yeah, there's some more questions in the Q&A, but if you're able to just type them out. And
no worries. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Beth. Next, we've got another second year module, but really interesting society. So we've got Cardiology Society coming up. Audrey is here. Audrey in the chat. Yeah.
Hi, I'm just going to share the PowerPoint. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Has that come up okay? Okay, so just to intro, hi, I am Audrey. I am the president of the Cardiology Society this year. And UEA CardioSoc is a society that is open to all medical students, but mainly targeting the second years who are doing module 4 right now. We cover all things cardiology, vascular, and also stroke because they all come together. And I'll pass on to Sachi, the Vice President, to talk more about the events that we're thinking of running this year.
Hi guys, I'm Sachi. So this year we understand with COVID there's going to be reduced face-to-face teaching in terms of your lectures and placement as well. So it's a really good place to get involved in Cardiology Society. So some of the events that we'll be running this year will be ECG workshop. So in this workshop you will be taught how to read, interpret, present, and also find any clinical findings of an ECG, which is very useful because I know a lot of people find ECGs quite difficult. We also have a crash course, which will be run every module, every term. And this crash course will cover each week of cardiology modules. So by the end of the course, you will know all about cardiology. We also have data workshop, and we are thinking about holding a mock OSCE, which either will be done virtually or in person. We have to figure out the details for that. But there's loads of events that's going to be going on, and these are great revision tools and great way to get involved and help your learning as well. So please get involved. This year our membership prices have been reduced from £3 to £2 because we do understand a lot of our teaching will be online. And with these membership prices, you will have a full year access to all our revision courses, and this will be free of charge. And we will also include our revision documents, our revision PowerPoints, and obviously you can email us or get in contact with us anytime, and we will be able to help you with your revision problems as well, whatever you need. It's a great way to get involved. It looks good on your CV as well, and currently we have a position open for year 2 reps. So anyone who's in year 2, especially in module 4, this position is great because you'll be advertising for Cardiology Society on your Facebook group chat. It's a way of us communicating to year 2s as well. So please get back to us and let us know if you're interested, because it'll look great on your CV. I'll go back to Audrey as well.
So hi again. I'm just gonna put our contact details so you can like us, like our Facebook page, and make sure you like the correct one because right now there's 2 of them. So like the one with red background and white writing. You can also follow us on Instagram at UEA CardioSoc, and I've also left our email, so ueacardiologysociety@gmail.com. So we're just here to make sure that we can give you the best revision events, the best content, especially with COVID affecting the Module 4 rotation from last year. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you. So we've been really going through these quite fast, which has been really good and really concise and quick with the questions, which is really nice. There's a few more questions coming through. Someone's just asked, Audrey, can Gateway students join the Cardiology Society?
Yes, absolutely. It's open to anyone with an interest in Cardiology Society. Absolutely. Like last year we had someone who was on exchange at UEA come to one of our talks just to check it out. And we also had a physician associate student attend one of our talks because it was useful. So definitely it's not just open to medical students, it's just more useful and more targeted for the Module 4 kids right now.
Great, perfect. So we're going to resume at about 12:05. So we've got about a 9-10 minute break to get a drink, get something to eat or something. So we'll start that now. I think good opportunity if Haj there, Mr. Doe, might not be. It's gone incognito. Really good question about how many societies do people recommend joining? Now, I reckon that's a difficult question. I think because they're really quite affordable societies and there's a lot going on, we recommend joining the societies that are sort of pertinent to the year that you're studying in. So in first year, we'd recommend joining those societies that you've study like rheumatology and orthopaedics in first year, and for second year students, definitely join all your second year sort of modules and stuff. But also, if you know that you've got an interest in a certain area, or you're not even sure if you're interested in a certain area, joining these societies is a really good opportunity to sort of get a bit of understanding in an area of medicine that you're not quite sure of, or really what happens within it. So you can get loads of exposure. And the thing is, they're really quite affordable as well. So yeah, it's completely up to you, and it's variable. We recommend joining a few, but also you can join throughout the year as well. For a lot of these societies using the SU page, but probably stay up to date on it, and just play it by ear and get in contact with societies. So just a follow-up question, which society should first year students join? It's such a personal thing that I think only you really know it as an individual, which ones sort of take your fancy, what you want to have a explore. So there's none that absolutely everyone should join, or something like that. I think it's so personal that if you've got an interest in an area, if you're really not sure about an area, if what's been said or what's been advertised on social media takes your fancy, then definitely have a look. But I think I couldn't say one over another really. Yeah, so we'll get on with this break, and I'll stop speaking for a little bit. And we've got till 5 past, so we've got a bit of time. Right, so I think just so it doesn't look like we're completely frozen or something's gone wrong with the Zoom webinar, we'll keep updating you about things that are going on, but definitely feel free to take some time away from the computer in a break or whatever. We thought we'd go through a couple of the sort of closing up of welcome weeks and the events that have been put on so far. That sounds like a plan. How's that sound, Hadj?
Yeah, of course. That's a good sort of interim.
Yeah. So, well, the Wonderglow Festival is still going on, isn't it? It's the last day today.
Today, yeah, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. I actually went last night. It's really nice. I think it's just worth popping along.
There's a number of food trucks around, isn't it? So it's illuminated sort of pieces of art with some music in places, is it? And some food trucks dotted around campus?
Projections, there's loads of nice places to take photos and stuff with your friends. And, yeah, food trucks, as you said. So yeah.
As long as it doesn't chuck it down. And so, of course, after MedMart Part 2, which finishes at 2 p.m, there's the opportunity to meet your medic family again and see what's going on there. We understand that some people are still getting in contact and sorting out medic families more. Don't worry about this. Definitely, we'll put you in contact with our social secs, and they can have a chat with you and put you in a family, or decide what you want to do. But yeah, that sounds like good fun. It's always really good to have medic families because you sort of carry them through the whole of
not just necessarily just getting to know someone in your older years. They give you all sorts of revision materials and help you educationally as well as pastorally in terms of just your social life and stuff. It's really nice to get to know people.
And earlier on, we would normally be taking you around on a city tour. The self-guided tours are still up using the links that we've put in the booklet, as well as on UEA's website. So there's self-guided things, whether you're interested in sort of the history, Norwich as a city, or you just want to go shopping. Good opportunities to do that now, just in case any extra guidance sort of prevents you from doing some stuff. And then Refreshers Week. So Alex and Hadj, do you want to quickly just update what Refreshers Week is?
Once again, in terms of the time frame, it's quite, we can't really put something on it, can we, in terms of when it's going to happen. But yeah, sorry, it's sort of reverbing as well because someone in the other room is doing the same talk. So basically, we've got all sorts of events that we usually do for Refreshers Week. So we've got the white t-shirt crawl, which is classically just a bar crawl that we do as a year group, as a fresher year group, and we end up in a club, which is really good. We have Doctor's Mess, which is a classic event that MedSoc do. Tickets are out pretty much instantly, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll make sure the freshers have a guaranteed ticket for that, though, so the old years will have to nab a ticket in pretty quickly. And then we have also all sorts of other quizzes, face-to-face events, and then we have a cocktail party at the end of the week as well to sort of round things off, which, yeah, it's a very nice week to just sort of, well, it usually is a very nice week. And the first week you're here and everyone's really excited. But, you know, with Refreshers Week, we don't know when it's going to happen, which is quite unfortunate, but, you know, it's something to look forward to, I guess.
So there's a number of questions in the chat, I think, just about MedSoc, not pertinent to one society. Someone's asked, can we still be assigned to a medic family?
By all means, yeah. That's just get in contact with the MedSoc page on UEA MedSoc on Facebook, or you can contact Dylan or Tess directly. It doesn't really matter, and then they'll be more than happy to assign you to a medic family. I'm also seeing the questions. What if you don't drink? MedSoc, there is no obligation to drink whatsoever. We do host plenty of events that don't have alcohol in them. Even with these events that have alcohol in them, there is no obligation to drink, as I said. So these events can be enjoyed with or without alcohol. So it's not an obligation to drink whatsoever. Bit random, but where would you guys recommend doing a food shop? Need a break from beans and toast without breaking the bank.
It's a number of, what is it, just under a week, and someone's like, oh, I'm fed up of beans and toast.
Yeah, so you can order your food online on Asda or Sainsbury's, and there's also a shop on the Five Boys roundabout, which is about a 10-minute walk from campus, and there's a Tesco there, and you can pick up your sort of everyday goods. And there's also obviously the SU shop, which is a tad more expensive, but if you need your like small things here and there, then it's not a bad place to go.
Yeah, like you were saying, Hadj, I think we really recommend getting in some sort of online shops and sharing the cost of delivery, which is normally not very expensive, with a few other housemates, and then just share the cost of the shop or whatever and getting it in, and then that prevents you from living off beige food and beans on toast or whatever for too long. But I don't know, a bit of a classic, you've got to do it. Yeah, so that's really good. So if it's all right, we'll continue on now. Thank you very much for answering the questions, Hadj. So we're going to start again with HEMSOC now. So another important second year topic, but really interesting, and they do a lot for other years and first years as well. So is anyone from HEMSOC in the chat?
I'm actually going to be part of HEMSOC as well. But Umar's going to do most of the talking. I'll just sort of fill in.
Okay, well, it's over to you two then.
Okay, so I'll just get the slides up. Can everyone see that?
Yep, I can see that.
Okay, so hi, my name is Omar. I'm the president of Haem Society for this year. And today I'm just going to talk a little bit about what the society is, some of the events we're running, and you've already met Hadjan as well, who's the health and safety officer for this year. So first of all, who are we? Well, we are a society for all things hematology. And for those of you who don't know, hematology is taught in second year, and it's a fairly short module over a 3-week period. But having said that, there is a lot of information to cover. So as a society, we're going to try and help you to get to grips with your hematology through revision events, Markowski's online quizzes, which I'll talk about in a minute. Now, although many of our events are targeted towards people who are in second year and above, we are open to anyone with an interest in the subject, and I'll talk about some of the events that we're holding on the next slide. So with regards to which events we're going to be holding, although we are a relatively new society, the revision events have been very successful in the past 1 or 2 years. And so we're hoping to run these again for each rotation, especially trying to plan these before your secondary care so that when you enter secondary care, you'll be ready for whatever comes your way. The other thing, as Beth mentioned, is that we're hoping to run Markowski's in collaboration with DermSoc, and we'll keep you updated on that. If we're not able to do that, then we can also consider online quizzes, which again will give you a good idea as to what to expect in the exam and what sort of questions can come up for Haem. We also have a potential careers event planned as well. We're thinking about inviting a hematologist. So if you're interested in that as a career option, you can ask them questions and also find out more about the training path involved and what a hematologist does on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, we'll try to keep you updated with regards to the events given the current climate. So thank you for listening. If you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now. Otherwise, you can get in contact on our Facebook and Instagram page. And we're thinking about potentially doing some weekly short answer questions as well. And also you can contact us on our email as well at ueahemsoc@gmail.com. But yeah, I'm happy to take any questions now, but otherwise that's everything I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah. Really good, thank you. Yeah, so there tends to be a bit of a lag between questions that come in the chat. So if you're able to answer them in the Q&A while people are chatting them out, that would be perfect. Really good, thank you. So we're coming up next is a Clinical Specialty Society. Any more? Don't make me present it, I tell you. Just got a minute or so.
Are they here yet?
Trying to have a look at the panelists.
Who's meant to be speaking?
Have a look at the list. Anything else you've got to say about HaemSoc? What's happened previously? The HaemSoc events that have run then. How does that you've been?
So yeah, we've done all sorts of revision events mainly for second years, but for the older years as well. It's really useful to pop along for like a secondary care placement, for example. And we also do Markowski's. We don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll try to facilitate as much stuff as we can, COVID permitting, obviously. Hematology is a really broad specialty as well. It's got a lot of cancer, so oncology, as well as some non-malignant stuff as well. So it's a lot to it, and it's only 3 weeks of teaching that UEA do on it. But personally, I think it's a really interesting specialty. Just a lot to sort of to get stuck into, basically. So yeah, it's first years as well. I'd recommend going into hematology if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because actually, it's the balance with hematology. It can sometimes seem quite daunting and scary on the outset, but it's very methodical, isn't it, as a specialty? So
very logical. It's a very logical specialty, and there's a lot of so blood's pretty much encompassing like everything in the body, isn't it? Blood goes to the brain, all your organs, skin, whatever. So it's quite important as well. It's quite relevant to all the other specialties. Sort of intertwines with everything else quite nicely. So yeah, definitely something to look into.
So
yeah.
we're quite quiet on the clinical specialties front. I was thinking with 40 or so societies, I didn't know if we were going to get unscathed with some sort of late turners or whatever the case is. If anyone knows anything about them or where they might be, but do let us know. Or if someone's actually waiting as an attendee and needs to be promoted, let us know. But yeah, I think so. He's up to following them will be RespSoc. So I know RespSoc are here, and it's up to you whether you want to start now, have slightly longer, or whether you want to wait until your 5-minute slot slightly after. It's up to you.
I can start now. I won't be too long, so they can go after me. That's
Okay.
yeah.
That sounds great.
All right, I'll just share my screen. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, looks good.
All right, so my name's Nishi. I'm your new president for this year for UEA Respiratory Society. I'd like to thank the opportunity to coming to MedMart 2020, our new virtual version. So I'll just start off by talking a bit about who we are as a society, what we're planning to do over this year, and then how you can get in contact with us if you need. So let's just start with who are we. So we are a new clinical specialty society for students made by students. So just like Cardiology Society, you've heard, like Haem Society, we're a bunch of 3rd and 4th year medical students. So we've got a mixture of experience. We've learned the respiratory module, which we took part in year 2, and we've taken part in placement as well. So our aim is to make your respiratory learning as smooth sailing as possible. And this society is for everyone and anyone with a keen interest in respiratory. So year 1s, you're definitely welcome. Our society is mainly targeted at year 2 because you'll be learning the content at the same time, but also open to all other years, especially older years who want to have a quick revision and recap session of what's going on. So let's just talk about a little bit about what we do as a society. So from previous years, we found that the intro to secondary care revision sessions that they've done have been particularly useful. So if you guys don't know, what happens in year 2 is that you have a few weeks of teaching and then you go into placement and do a few weeks of teaching after. So the structure is kind of disorganized. So we like this revision session because it helps to give you a little understanding of the topics you haven't quite learnt yet that you will see in secondary care. And so this session is really useful. We're also planning to run a virtual mock OSCE for each rotation. So you'll do respiratory at different points in your year. So we're hoping to do one for each rotation and hopefully do an OSCE workshop with some important tips about the stations. At the end of the year, we're also hoping to do a big content revision session with a big Q&A. So you guys can answer your questions, you can send your questions in advance and we can try and tailor our content for that specifically. And if you keep up to date with our new Instagram page, we're hoping to shortly be releasing our weekly SBA questions. So we'll send out a question on a Monday and give you the answers on a Friday, so you guys can all keep up to date with your knowledge. Yeah, I think that's about it. So if you would like to get in contact with us, that's our email just there. Follow our Instagram for the SBA questions, and we'll be shortly posting about when our revision events are going to be on our Facebook page. We'd like to ask you to come over to our SU page as well to purchase your £2 membership. It was originally £3 last year, but we've decided to reduce the cost, obviously due to COVID, the fact we're going to be doing a lot of online events, but to reserve your places for these slots and things, we'd like to ask you to buy membership. But anyway, any further questions, please email us or talk to us on the Q&A at the bottom, or message us on our social media. We're all friendly and approachable. So thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you for stepping in as well. That's really helpful. Really interesting point there that I think is worth re-emphasising to first years. In first year, you have you go through your sort of 2 modules as a whole cohort, and you do things as a group, as far as I'm aware. However, in later years, it's important to recognise that you're split into what's called rotations, so that, for example, in second year, you have 3 rotations. So a third of your year will be on one module, while another third of your year is on another, and another third is on the last module. And what you do is you switch around in different rotations. So you might do 3, 4, 5 the modules, or variations of those modules. But as a result, there's different things going on at different times. So when everyone talks about your respiratory module or your hematology rotation, that's what they mean by that. And it's an important concept because sometimes it can seem a bit odd and you sort of lose track of how things are going. So we're getting in contact with other societies, but I think what we'll do is we'll push on now. to Endocrine Society. I understand it's a couple of minutes early, but if you able.
Yeah, so hi, my name's Sophie. I'm a final year medical student, and I'm the president of Endocrinology Society. So, just trying to get up the PowerPoint. Or I think, for some reason it hasn't letting me share my screen. So I'm just going to quit and come back in on a second.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if that works now. There we go.
Right.
So yeah, as I said, we're Endocrinology Society, and there's our email, Instagram, and Facebook links. And so in case anyone wants to get in contact with us after this session. So as I mentioned with MedSoc, so this is more, our group is more aimed at third years. So we run a mock OSCE each term just to cover sort of common stations that come up with endocrine, and we also cover some renal stuff as well. This year they're quite likely to be over Zoom, but we're kind of playing that by ear. And then we also do a pre-placement revision session to cover anything that might come up in placement and that's important to know, and just kind of prepare you for placement. But we've been also trying to extend what we do for sort of other years as well. So we realise that diabetes is a topic that you'll come across from first year onwards whenever you see patients. So this year we're going to do a separate revision session just for diabetes, and this will cover everything from sort of pathophysiology to the kind of questions that you should ask your patients, and how you should monitor them and that kind of thing. We haven't yet got a date for this, but this is likely to be sometime in first term. It'll be over Zoom and just an hour session covering everything you need to know. Last year we did a sort of joint, well, we tried to do a joint revision session with GastroSoc, Neuro and EyeSoc, and DermSoc before the end of year exams. Obviously because of COVID we weren't able to run this, but we're trying to get organised to try and do it again this year, and that would be most useful for sort of second years as well. And finally last year we did a talk on transgender and non-binary individuals. And we got someone in to talk to us about that, and so, because we don't really feel like it's covered within our course currently, and we'd quite like to do more events like that in the future. And if anyone has any topics that sort of relate to endocrine and they'd like to get a speaker in to talk about that, we'd be really open to that. And yeah, we did it in partnership with MedSoc last year. So let me know if anyone wants to bring forward any talks that they'd like to discuss. So our membership is £2 this year. We haven't yet set the prices for any of our events, but it'll probably be worth it to get the membership, because normally the events are charged at £2 anyway, so you may as well get the membership, and you should just be able to get that on the SU website. So yeah, just let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely one of those third year topics that can be quite challenging, so really good to see that there's all this help from different societies, which is really nice. Yeah, so there's still a number of questions coming through. It's really good. We've got over 50 questions in the Q&A to keep asking. So yeah, they're all getting answered well. I think what we'll do is we'll move on to EyeSoc next. I know it's slightly early, but it means you get a bit of a longer time to have a break and sort of a move away from the computer. So I'll hand it over to you guys.
Hi guys, EyeSoc. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so I'm Rashmi. I'm currently a fourth year medical student and I'm president of EyeSoc.
Hi, I'm Pavi and I'm also a fourth year medical student and I'm the EyeHeroes coordinator.
And I think we also have Shaylee online. So if I just ask Shaylee to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Shaylee. Yeah, can you hear me guys? Sorry. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm Shaylee. I'm secretary for EyeSoc. I didn't catch the first bit, but yeah, carry on guys.
Great, so I'll just share my screen 1 second. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, welcome everyone to EyeSoc. So this is the rest of the society, just pictures of who we are and which roles we play. So why should you join? Well, at UEA, you guys will learn ophthalmology in year 3 as part of module 7. And at uni, there's actually only 2 weeks of ophthalmology that are lecture-based teaching. So hopefully the society will give you more of a knowledge of a highly competitive and important specialty. So one of the first reasons you should join is that we have rotation mock OSCEs. So you might not be aware, but OSCEs are usually run at the end of modules and they are clinical exams. And we usually prepare for these OSCEs by running mock OSCEs, and in previous years this was run in person, but obviously due to this year, because of COVID, we might have to change the method slightly, so this might be run online. And this year we are collaborating with ENT Society and NeuroSoc to run the Mod 7 OSCE for you. Secondly, we're also planning on running end-of-year ophthalmology revision sessions, along with creating a handbook, which will hopefully guide you through your ophthalmology course. And again, the method for these revision sessions is yet to be confirmed due to COVID. Thirdly, there's something called the Duke Elders exam. So for those of you who are interested in pursuing ophthalmology as a specialty, we help prepare for something called the Duke Elders exam. And this examination is basically intended for medical students who have completed their ophthalmology undergraduate teaching. But as you guys are freshers, you may have not completed your ophthalmology teaching, and we completely understand this. So it's open to all medical undergraduates, provided that they have not graduated at the time of the examination. And basically this exam just has questions on ophthalmology, clinical ophthalmology, physiology, anatomy, and pathology. And we hope to prepare you for this. The exam's in March and the preparation starts from January. So that's something our society offers. We also have something called the Eye Heroes Volunteer Scheme, which Pavia, our Eye Heroes coordinator, will just describe a bit more in detail.
So yeah, the Eye Heroes is an awareness campaign targeting to reach local communities. Previously, we used to visit the primary school with volunteers to teach the children about the eye health and the importance of eye checks to prevent blindness. But due to the current restrictions, we're switching these workshops to online. So this year, if you do join our society, you'll have an opportunity to volunteer on these online workshops with these children.
And finally, a bit about charity fundraising, which is organised by our secretary, Shaylee. So Shaylee, if I can pass over to you.
Sure. So I just want to talk to you guys about a couple things. So the first is, as mentioned, the charity fundraising. So fundraising new ways through events will be a focus for us this year. And we look forward to allowing our members to pick a society to support. So a few that we've been looking into are guide dogs for visually impaired, vision aid overseas, and sight savers. Another thing that I wanted to mention here is that myself and some other members of our team are planning on organising revision events over Zoom, presenting a range of ophthalmology SBAs, so single best answer questions. And these will be geared more towards sort of year 3, 4, and 5, but will be open to anyone with a keen interest in ophthalmology or just is curious about the specialty itself. If there is anything else you guys want to see from the society, or if you have any other ophthalmology related questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I'll pass you guys back to Rashmi and Pavi.
Thank you, Shaylee. So yeah, as Shaylee said, feel free to ask anything. We'll answer your questions in the chat in a moment. And don't forget to join our membership. It's only £1. We've reduced it quite a lot because of the opportunities that we might not be able to do in person. So it's great for £1, I guess. It's an amazing society to join. And for further contact details, follow us on Facebook, on Insta, and you can contact us on this email provided as well. So yeah, I'll pass you on to Rory back again. Thank you.
Back again, yeah. Thank you very much. That was really good. Another one of those interesting and sometimes quite quick modules in third year, so it's good to get sort of follow-ups with it and getting help with all these extra things that you can do with ophthalmology, like the Duke Elder exam. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. So we've got another break here, and this one could be about 9 or 10 minutes, which is nice. So feel free to go and get a drink, nip to the toilet, make a break from the screen. I think if Alex or Haj are there, we can just keep talking about a number of things that we've got going on, just so it doesn't look like we've completely stopped the stream. So I was thinking, Haj, I'll share my screen, talk a bit about the things that we've said in our introductory lecture and
The one that we did last week, or 2 weeks
Yes.
ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Norwich and stuff.
Yeah, so I was thinking if people have got any questions, it's a good opportunity just to ask these questions now, because we talked about Norwich before and how you get there. We wonder whether you, as first years, have visited the city yet. Really good place to go. There are so many good places to sort of see, things to do, places to be in Norwich, and it's really not very far, especially for a campus uni. It's not a big trek. So getting there, taking the 25 or 26 bus into town from campus, or you can bike it.
We highly recommend getting biking first year. So yeah, if you haven't got a bike already, then yeah, it's one of those things that we highly recommend. And we also see these new things called barrel bikes. I don't know what they are, to be honest. It's like some Uber bike sort of thing that you can see in other places in Europe, Boris bikes in London, but yeah, it's sort of like a bike car thing that looks quite snazzy. So yeah.
And the market is the largest permanent marketplace in all of Europe. So it's a good place to go and see. It's got a one-way system at the moment because of COVID, so can sometimes be a bit of an enigma as to how you walk around it. But there's so many different market stalls there. We recommend going and have a look at that. And also the opportunity to go and see the lanes, places like that. So these narrow but really interesting sort of back streets on the far side of Norwich, the other side of the market, sort of near Pottersgate and around there, filled with loads of different things. So if you need a haircut, that's normally where a lot of the barbers are for men, and lots of food shops, charity shops, places like that, but really quite quirky places. So we recommend going over there.
A lot of really neat things that you can just sort of find in like these small roads and small alleyways that you get quite surprised by often. And yeah, it's really nice to sort of pop down there for a day out with your friends or something, with your flatmates. So yeah.
And so we're conscious that it's Medic Family Night tonight. We know you've had one event with them during the quiz, but this is the opportunity to go and have a look at these different places where you can go and eat or drink or chill or something to do. Number of really good restaurants out there, cool places that range from brick pizza, where it's sort of first come first serve and they cook the pizza in front of you, to sit down places like Giggling Squid or even the good burgers or whatever in Gonzo's. So
this isn't an exhaustive list, by the way, so yeah, do have a Google around, do ask around for any extra suggestions if you're looking for any sort of cuisine or types of bars that you're sort of interested in.
For those people really drinking or not drinking, there's loads of really good pubs in Norwich. All about, we know that the new rule from today comes into play where they will close up at 10 p.m. rather than stay open to their normal times. But it's an opportunity still to go and see them and support them. I think Hadj said earlier that there was 365 pubs in Norwich and 52 churches. So a pub for every day of the year, and then a church for every week is what they always used to say. There's now less of each, but there's still an absolute load of pubs that we recommend going, even if it's just to chill with non-alcoholic drinks or whatever. It's a nice place to be, and there's a lot of history in them.
In any way. So yeah, feel free to pop down and socialize, and yeah, especially with COVID now, there's not a lot of options, is there, with meeting in large groups. So once again, go with your flatmates, go with small groups of 6, and yeah.
So what time is it? Still got a few minutes. We'll resume it.
Have we got more Q&As coming in? Have you got more suggestions for recommended online videos for a UEA Med student? Yeah, so I did answer this question for someone else a couple of questions ago. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can actually look into. There's a YouTube channel called Osmosis, which usually do really good sort of physiology and that kind of like specialty videos. There's also a guy called Armando Hazundagan. I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it, but if you just type in Armando Medicine, that's like on YouTube, that's like the first thing that comes up, and he does some really snazzy videos with all sorts of really cool drawings, so we'd highly recommend that. Videos, there's also nowadays...
Lectures.
Sorry?
lockdown lectures. So
yes, of course.
all over. So this is a recent thing. So because of lockdown and sort of a suspension of teaching, people like Pulse Notes, Bite Medicine, and Smile, so like sustaining medical education in lockdown environment, they produce loads of videos, especially I think it's mainly Bite Medicine and Pulse Notes that have them up on YouTube, and they're really, really good.
And they also do live webinars, just like the one you're in right now. So they would have like, they'll present like the specialty, let's say they're presenting heart, and then they'll do that, and then you can answer the question. You can go on the Q&A function and ask questions directly about whatever they're presenting, and they'll answer it for you. So it's almost like an interactive lecture almost. So they're really good. And it's free from what I know, but there's some form of membership as well that you can get, which gets you extra benefits. I'm not too sure, but I'm not the person to ask about that. But Pulse Notes and Bite Medicine, those are the main two people, and you can find them on Facebook as well. Not sponsored, but they're really good.
We wish. Yeah. Another question, just about couldn't find the Freshers Handbook anywhere. So Freshers Handbook, we've sent it to the medical school, and they've assured us that it's going up on Blackboard, so it should be on Blackboard, but we know that's an enigma. What we'll do from after this, we'll have a quick scout out to see where it is. If you're on Facebook, we've posted it in our groups and on our Facebook page. And where else is it? If you really can't find it, actually they can email, can't they? And they can email and we can send it.
We'll probably put it on our website as well later as part of our sort of new students section on our tabs. Yeah, we'll have our FAQ document and our Fresh Handbook, and we'll do that as soon as we can. So yeah, keep a lookout for all of that good stuff.
Right. Thank you very much, Haj. I think we'll hand over now to NeuroSoc, who are taking us for our next talk.
Yep.
Hi. One sec, I'll just share my screen. Can everyone see this? Does this work? Yep. Okay. Hi. So I'm Roshni Bari. I am the president of NeuroSoc this year, and I'm an intercalating student. I'm doing the cognitive neuroscience course at UEA. So it's not just me in the committee, obviously. We're 8 of us, and we're all in different sort of parts of our medical school. So if you've got any questions about anyone in second year, third year intercalation, you can ask us still. So what we basically do is obviously around neurology. That's something that you have a bit of an introduction to in second year when you do cardiology and you do a bit of stroke, and mostly the module is in third year clubbed with ophthalmology and ENT. And what we plan on doing is this year online revision sessions for stroke and general neurology, as well as we plan on doing some careers events along with the Royal Colleges. So that would be the British Association of Paediatric Neurologists, and also for adult neurology, and get a few consultants hopefully to give some direction if you are interested in a career in neurology. We also do mock OSCEs, as previously I think Shaylee mentioned, with EyeSoc. So we always collaborate with them, and we have done so for the past few years. Hopefully this year we'd be able to do it in either a socially distanced way or online. And we've also recently launched our Instagram and Facebook stories series, which is Neuro Mondays. So I know even though you don't do neurology until later on in your medical career, but if you're just interested in getting to know a few facts or just doing a few SBAs, you can follow and like our social media pages for that. So that's pretty much it. It's a bit short. So we also this year, what we've done is the committee has put together a neuroanatomy revision guide. So we've tried to condense neuroanatomy in about 14 pages, and from what we think is relevant, what we found in OSCEs and other sort of exams. But this is only for members, so if you would like it, you can buy the membership, which is reduced to £2 this year, and not just for first years. If everyone, I know a lot of us, a lot of the fifth years and all years are on this as well, so if you want one, you can join in today. And yep, that's pretty much it. This is the committee. If you see us on campus or anything, don't be shy, say hi, and pop us a message. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Getting all these third year topics, getting flashbacks from that pseudo third year from last year for me. But yeah, no, really good. Neuro is a really interesting topic as well. Yeah, lots to cover in it. So on to ENT Society. Throw up there.
Hello. So I'm a co-president of ENT Society. I'm going to just share my screen if that's okay. Right. So the ENT Society was inactive last year, and we've made it become active this year, to sort of go along with neuro and OPFAL to provide students with education like based learning and obviously virtual learning this year, to basically allow the students to get extra info and also have opportunities in both research and also to allow a better insight into ENT, both the surgical aspect and the clinical aspect. So firstly, we'll just go talk about the committee. So I'm a co-president this year with another member who's not here at the moment, but you can talk to any of us. I'll provide our email at the end of the slide if you have any questions. But yeah, this society is a new society that we have relaunched to get a better interest for students in terms of ENT. So what can we expect this year? So a variety of things. We firstly, I've reached out to Neuro and OPFAL SOCs with relation to like OSCE revision. Obviously, I know a lot of you are first years, so this won't particularly apply to you, but it's just in general, you can be assured that there are a lot of opportunities to practice your clinical skills. And if you're interested in the speciality from a very early point, you can always tune in, and get a better gauge of what you like, what you don't like. We're doing a lot of revision events. So I've just done a little mood board here. So we're going to plan some revision events around the ear, nose and throat. So the ENT is obviously cut into 3 subspecialties, both of which are for both surgical and clinical roles in those subspecialties. So there is a wide range of career opportunities available. We also are going to have some key speakers coming in November time, so which will focus on the ear, nose and throat, more just to get students and also junior doctors to have an idea of the common presentations that you would see in ENT. So we're going to have Professor Carl Philpott, who is a professionalism lead in year 3, but also a rhinologist at the James Paget Hospital. So that's one of the hospitals you will be at. If you have your placements there, you might see him. Also, Mr. Prinsley will be doing otology, so that's the ear. And then also Mr. Tassone will be doing the head and neck. So a lot with these talks, they'll be focused on just getting, the interest out there, widening people's horizons in terms of ENT. And that'll be free to attend. Anyone can attend that. There won't be any charge for that. So you can sort of gauge a better aspect of what ENT is and the career options available as well. We also are in the process of getting some resources together to allow students, because obviously a lot of the teaching is online this year. So if you are a third year in this talk, then we are getting those resources together to help you, because obviously ENT is only 2 weeks of teaching. It's not a lot of teaching, but there is quite a bit to it. So hopefully we can help you there in terms of, just making sure you have the adequate knowledge. We also do collaborate with Cambridge to give a sort of day where we can go through the main clinical aspects of ENT, and that will probably happen in the BCRE in the 2nd term, if that is to happen. So yeah, that's basically the main events that will happen, and we also will have our Instagram and Facebook, which will have posts tailored towards ENT, towards different sort of careers, paths that can be taken within their specialty, and also just fun facts. So if you want to contact us, our email is here, and our Instagram and Facebook page has just been newly created. So It's not fully done yet, but it is in the process of being created. Our membership fee will be £2. We're just talking to the SU to allow us to have full control of the society page. So as soon as that happens, we'll be able to get membership. It'll be like £1 or £2. It won't be that expensive because obviously there's less in-person events, and we'll try to make as many resources as free as possible to students who have an interest in ENT or who just want to see what it's about. So if you are interested in being a member, just email us on this Gmail and we'll get in touch with you. And obviously do it from your med student address, that we know that you're a med student. So yeah, that's it. That's everything. So.
Right. Cheers, Saurav.
That's all right.
Yeah, not all early nights in tennis then. So yeah, lots to cover on the ENT. Wonderful. Yeah, if you can stick around for any questions in the chat, that'd be great. Moving on, we've got GastroSoc next. Third year topic, but really interesting.
Hi, so I'm president of GastroSoc this year. My name's Caitlin. I'm just going to try and share my screen. So that should be up now. So yeah, UEA GastroSoc. So like I said, it's a third year topic, but we're really hoping to expand this year to make it more accessible to everybody and something that other years might be interested in joining. I also have Priyanka, who's on the call at the moment, so if you have any questions, she'll answer them in the chat. So who are we? So on the committee this year, we're all 4th and 5th year medical students, and we specialise normally in running mock OSCE events and also preparation for the written exams, and they've always gone down really well in previous years, but there are going to be some changes this year which I'll go into, as I imagine most of the societies have. And this year we're trying to expand and hopefully give some more insight into what the speciality entails, all the different areas, and also some career information and guest speakers. So in terms of our committee, this is just a list of us, but basically if you see anyone around campus, then feel free to say hi, message us. We're all welcome to answer any of your questions. We're really keen. So yeah, upcoming events. So our main thing normally is a mock OSCE revision session that we hold at the end of each of the modules, normally geared towards the third years because that's when you do the gastro module. But we're going to be changing things a bit this year. At least for the first term, we'll be doing it online. So it will be an online style OSCE event, mostly focusing on data interpretation, imaging, looking at the different assessment tools that you might need to use in your OSCE, and also the prescribing, which is quite a common stress for medical students. So we've found these have been really helpful in the past, and we've got lots of knowledge in our team, and we're also looking to work with consultants and doctors at the hospital to also help deliver the session. So I'd really recommend that session if you're worried about your OSCEs at all. And then we also normally do a written exam revision. So this is normally in the summer term to try and obviously maximise how much you're going to retain before your written exams. But we focus on multiple choice and the SAQ format of the questions, and it's sort of an overview of the really core stuff that you need to know, but also some of the niche things that tends to come up recurringly to make sure that you're as prepared as possible. And again, we're going to change this to an online lecture format. And we believe that actually this might work a lot better because normally when it's placement time, people are tired, they're coming back late. So I think more people will be able to engage this way, and it'll be really worth your time coming along. So in terms of new events for 2020, we really want to get some guest lecturers to come and do online lectures. So covering both career talks about, because the speciality is so diverse, but also to deliver some teaching and some guest lectures. So things that often we find difficult or need a little bit more in depth, we're hoping that that will be a really good way to supplement the teaching this year. And basically if you have any ideas for things that you want to see, any events, then please do just email us or message us, because we're really keen to make this society very tailored to your learning and supplementing it where perhaps the online isn't quite fulfilling everything. So just let us know. So membership, it's £3 and it's free for then all the events for the whole year. And normally the events range from £1 to £2 depending on what we have to use. This might change this year because if we can't do face-to-face mock OSCEs, it might be a bit cheaper because normally we have to buy equipment in for those. So we'll keep you posted on that one. And yeah, so these are our social media links. So I'd really recommend following us on Instagram. We're planning to do weekly Q&As and questions. So yeah, and just contact us if you have any questions at all. And that's it.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah, so lots organised ready for the coming year, which is really good. Next up, we've got our Paediatrics Society. Who's going to give you a talk. Hi, Claire.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Great. Just getting the screen share up. Can you see that? Yes. Nice. Perfect. Hi guys, my name's Claire. I'm one of the presidents of PaediatricsSociety this year.
Hey guys, my name's Tish. I'm also the other president with Claire this year of PaediatricsSociety.
Perfect. So yeah, we are UEA PaediatricsSociety, so we're the Paediatric Society, which is all about children's medicine. We're both in 5th year, and committee this year is mainly made up of 4th and 5th years. So yeah, we're a society made up of different year groups, as I said, and it's all about introducing paediatrics to you guys, which is, as I said, all about children's medicine and children's health, which we're really passionate about. So we want to put on loads of stuff for you guys that are interested. And also those of you that don't really know much about peds as a speciality, hopefully we can get you more engaged with it.
So yeah, following on from that, we are open to all year groups, and our membership fee this year is £2. We've kind of reduced it just because unfortunately a lot of our events are going to have to be online and virtual instead of face-to-face. You can get the membership on the SU website with all the other memberships, and we do, even though you only cover peds in 4th year, we encourage anyone who's interested from kind of years 1 to 5 to get involved as early on as you like, because there will be an event that kind of applies to everyone. You don't just have to be in 4th year studying peds to join us.
Nice. So just to give you a little bit of information about what we can offer you as a society, as I imagine many of the other med specialties have been talking about, revision sessions is a really key part of our society. So we're going to aim to put on revision sessions for each rotation, mainly aimed at the 4th years, as Tish said, as this is a topic you'll cover then. But as I say, always open to any year groups that are interested. So revision sessions can be kind of OSCE focused. So that's teaching you a lot of the clinical skills and a lot of the kind of scenarios that you'll encounter working with children, and also scenarios with parents as well, which is like a key thing in peds. And this is, like other societies, probably going to be online due to the current COVID crisis. But I think by then we'll be very much like used to doing a lot of online things, so it should be quite normal for you guys. We also have a really exciting thing this year, which is the National Paediatric Fundraising Week. So the dates are here on the screen, which is the 12th to the 18th of October. This is a really exciting opportunity, linking a lot of the paediatric societies across lots of the med schools in the UK. And we're all kind of working together to support lots of local and national charities between us. There's going to be a bit more information on our social media coming up, but there's going to be lots of fun things, some kind of like boxer-size sessions that we've got linked with a local charity called Able to Be, whose Tish has been involved with. It's a charity set up by a paediatric surgeon, aiming to provide boxer-size classes to disabled and impaired children. So they're just one of the charities that we're involved with, but there's going to be lots more happening that week. We also put on a careers event, which is great. It was one of the things that really drew me into peds. It's an opportunity to meet both medical and surgical professionals in the field, get chatting to them about what life in peds is like. They can give you advice on how to kind of start kind of preparing your application and getting involved with things quite early on, which is really handy. And also there's some local charity events that we're going to do, which kind of links to what I've said with the fundraising week, but we're also going to have a national charity who we're going to support throughout the year, with a lot of our kind of fun events and hopefully getting us involved with paediatrics in the community, which is really, really important. I'll hand over to Tish for a bit more.
Yeah, so following on from that, kind of linked into our revision sessions and our online OSCE support sessions, we've got quite a lot of the peds, like Baby Anne and all the dolls that are used for BLS. And I realised that anyone who's in year 4 this year, or anyone who just wants to get ahead, isn't going to have much of a chance to practice on the dolls compared to normal years. So what we thought we'd do is we try and film some videos of some of the committee basically doing the BLS sequence, so that you guys can have a copy and just refer back to it when you're doing your revision for that station, just to try and maximise your guys' basically learning opportunities. And obviously COVID dependent, we're going to try and have sessions where we make the dolls available with hand sanitizer and wipes and stuff, so that you guys can actually come and practice on them, so they don't just go to waste, because they're quite a good resource. And then, so we've got a few collaboration teaching events, which some of the other societies have already mentioned. So firstly with DermSoc, we're going to do a collaboration where they're going to do a teaching session on kind of all the adult skin conditions, and then we're going to join with them and do the common conditions that you might find in children. We'll focus on some of the more rare ones that you might see or might not see on placement, so to make sure we've kind of covered all the different points for you. And then, again, already mentioned our collaboration with sports and exercise medicine. We're unsure of exactly how it's going to run at the moment, but the focus is going to be on neuromuscular disorders. And again, it's going to be with a consultant at the NNN, and will probably be virtual, but I think it'll be quite an interesting event for anyone interested in paediatric medicine or neuromuscular and sports and exercise medicine. And then lastly, I'll just touch on this because of COVID may not go ahead this year, but our last kind of main thing of PaediatricsSociety is our Comfort Club initiative, which was supposed to be up and running in the NICU unit of the NNN, which is basically students working with children who are admitted to the NICU and whose parents can't really be there to visit them each day and stuff like that. So it's currently set up at Cambridge, and we're trying to work with them to make sure we can put something in place here, but because of the current restrictions, it may be that it doesn't happen this year. But anything that we find out about it, we'll keep all of our members posted in regards to that. So I think that's everything in terms of our events this year. If anyone has any questions, just pop them in the chat and we'll answer them as best we can. And if you think of any later, feel free to contact us on our social media. I'll just put up our details just in case anyone needs them. And yeah, look forward to seeing you, some of you at our events. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it seems because there's so many sort of subsections of PEDS, like you don't need to wait to the 4th year to really get involved with all this stuff, which is really nice.
For sure.
So there's so much going on.
Thanks, Rory.
Right. Okay, so moving on, one more just before another break. We've got Obstetrics and Gynaecology Society. Hand it over to you two.
Hello, so my name is Becca and I'm president of the Obstetrics and Gynaecology Society.
And I'm Jack, the charity officer.
Let's just share our screen. So Obstetrics and Gynaecology, or otherwise known as Obs and Gynae, is a speciality that focuses on pregnant women, their unborn baby, and health issues specific to females. It's a really unique speciality in that you get to support women through really important events in their life, and you have a special opportunity to empower women in their choices.
Our two aims of this year are firstly to raise awareness of the specialty and give you the chance to explore a little bit beyond the usual curriculum. And secondly, to fundraise for Obs and Gynae related charities, which is where I come in. Our charity of the year is Leeway, which is a charity that supports people affected by domestic abuse right here in the East Anglia region. We decided to support them owing to an estimated 20% increase in domestic abuse cases during the pandemic. This, coupled with the diminished social support networks for those affected, for instance, being cut off from family, from friends, from work colleagues even. We're running a number of events throughout the year in order to fundraise and raise awareness, and I'm able to tell you about just some of them now. Firstly, we're hosting a talk about the effects of COVID-19 on domestic abuse and what we as future clinicians can do about it. Secondly, we'll be running our first ever pub quiz, virtual pub quiz, another one, with all profits going to Leeway. We're also running a talk on the effects of COVID-19 on smear testing, with all profits of that going to Cancer Research UK, another charity which has been greatly affected by the pandemic and one that we'd like to support as well. And lastly, specialty-wise, we will be running our annual Module 9 revision events. So if you're in Year 4, look out for that. So now to everyone, make sure to follow our social media accounts to keep up to date about what we have going on and get involved so that we can make the biggest impact we can this year for these really very worthwhile charities.
To become a member, it's only £3. So if you have an interest in women's health or any of the events we've just mentioned, please consider joining. As you can see on our pictures, we usually do loads of events, but unfortunately due to COVID, currently we can't do any of them, but we're trying our best to think of ways to bring it to you virtually and do the same charity events and revision events that we did in the past, and try to make them as useful as they were before. And that's all we have to say. Does anyone have any questions?
Hi guys. Looks like there's still some questions coming in the chat, which is really good, and keep going. So if you're able to look through them as they sort of stack up later on, that'd be really good. Thank you very much for presenting all that. That's really good. We've got a bit of a break now for people to continue to ask questions before we move on to our next talk. It's only a 5-minute break, so only a few minutes, but yeah, good opportunity to get something to drink or do something. Haj and Alex, are you there? Or not? Yeah.
Yep.
Back again. Yeah, no, I was just thinking if we go through. Share my screen. Not that. What is that?
Talk a bit about the MedSoc membership if you like.
Yeah, go on, shameless plug if you want.
Yep. Obviously, not just myself, but MedSoc have been working really hard to make sure all our events and stuff are running as smoothly as you can, and all for the freshers, we're doing everything we can in our power to do to make sure your transition to uni is as smooth as possible. So obviously we've got other events planned throughout the year and stuff, and it should be really worthwhile to join MedSoc, I think, especially with the stuff you've got planned in the very near future. Alex, have you got anything else planned to you'd like to say?
Yeah, no, just we're very sorry about everything that's been going on, and we're just as devastated as you are that we haven't been able to host anything in person. But yeah, as soon as everything goes, as soon as the government guidelines are back to normal, then yeah, we'll be straight there organising as many events as possible. But until then,
yeah, we're really focused on trying to make sure our memberships are actually worthwhile in terms of all the discounts that you will get as a MedSoc member. In the past, it hasn't been so much the case, but this year, making sure that everyone who does have a MedSoc membership will be getting a significant discount on all their on all our outgoings, and the non-members will unfortunately have to pay some premiums towards the events that we now host. So do keep a lookout for the MedSoc membership. We explained how to get it, but it's basically on the SU website, and yeah, if you just search UE.su on UE.su and MedSoc, you should be able to find us.
Yeah, I think the next announcement outside of MedMart from us will be with regards to the emblem competition.
Of course, yeah.
So just keep an eye out for that. So yeah, we'll do the voting first. That should be taking place sometime next week, I'd have thought, once all the new students have settled in. And then yeah, once we've done the voting, we'll obviously announce it, and then we'll get to work on designing the new series of stash, which this year will be discounted for MedSoc members. So yeah, we recommend getting a membership if you want to save a lot of money throughout the years.
We've also got an equality and diversity update coming. Currently in conversations with some BBC reporters as well, because they're hoping to cover them communities in medical societies. But yeah, look out for our equality and diversity update. We've got a question that I think we can answer now. Is it useful for Gateway students to join any of these societies? I reckon everyone that's spoken today would say yes. If you've got an interest in one area, then definitely join. If you want to get ahead of the game and learn about rheumatology and orthopaedics for your first year, then definitely recommend that. Or any of these societies that were in MedMart Part 1 and the sports societies would recommend doing as well. But yeah, there's plenty to do here, and they're not all just relating to one particular module. So we've got some coming up later on that are sort of like national charities that are set up elsewhere, and they do things that aren't related really to a certain medical module, but have a different focus. So stick around for them coming up later on, but definitely get involved.
Yeah, there's a question about how do I get mental membership. That's basically on the website, on the UEA.su website. You just search bar, just go on the search bar and type in UEA MedSoc. You should pop up, and it's the 5-year membership that you want to get. Speaking of which, there's another question about if you think of intercalating, you can get the 5-year membership, and it still the intercalation year is included in that, so you don't need to pay anything extra. So that's nice.
Also, the same applies for Gateway, and also the same applies for Gateway. And if you were to intercalate, so if you were to spend 7 years doing med, we'll still cover those 2 extra years for free, basically.
Yeah, so I guess it's even more worth the money, I guess, if you're a Gateway student thinking of intercalating. Yeah, I keep on thinking it's foundation year, but they've changed the name, haven't they, to Gateway.
Another question.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I've also been seeing a question pop up recently, which is about can you pay for membership, annually? So can you pay £10 a year instead of £50 all at once? And I'm just going to say, unfortunately, we can't offer that, mainly because of the conference bursary we offer. So we offer £20 every year to any student who wants to go to a conference somewhere in the country. So this £20 will go to travel fees, will go to the cost of the conference itself, and etc. etc. So yeah, if we offered annual membership, then yeah, unfortunately, basically
you're paying £10. You're paying £10 for membership. Then you can just claim £20, which is excessive. So unfortunately, we can't do that. But if you purchase the 5-year membership, you're entitled to 1 conference bursary each year, which still adds up to an extra £50 over the 5 year, or even 6 or 7 years that you're here for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's no need to worry about that.
One more question that says, if I've signed up for a society I don't want to be in anymore, is there any way to leave? Not that fussed about a refund, just don't want to carry on receiving emails and all. So yeah, so there's no often with these societies, it's not that you'll get sort of pestered with spam and there's loads of things that you get to do. Actually, there's no sort of commitment necessarily to a lot of these societies to get involved and do stuff. Often the reason that we recommend joining them as a member is because when they do these events, you'll get money off, and in the long run you'll sort of save the money by attending their events, because you'll just be paying more if you join. And yeah, so yeah, and MedSoc and stuff like this, it works slightly different because we're sort of a facilitator for all these other societies. But with regards to emails and you're worried about spam or something, if you suddenly change your mind, that's not really the case, and there are loads of things to put.
You don't get too many societies.
No.
Most of the updates come through on Facebook and Instagram. So
yeah, so we'll just run into their time a little bit, so we'll just hand over to Oncology Society now, who will give you a chat about what they're up to in the coming year.
Hello, this is Narmina talking. I'm the president of Oncology Society, and I'll quickly pop the event planner that we would like to make happen this year, hopefully. So we have quite a bit of things going on here. So because of the pandemic, lots of things that should have been happening in person won't, but that won't be stopping us, and we will post all of these things we hadn't planned in lots of all this is like social media stuff. So whatever works for you, you can find it here. So basically how we're doing this is we're having a type of cancer and their awareness months. So we're going to group them with each month. So what will happen is that lots of the September things, because of lots of tricky modalities that are happening now, will be transferred to October, but these things will be happening. So we'll have cancer themes, meaning that we'll have lots of information about those specific type of cancer, as well as like revision courses and everything related to them at the specific month. So we're still confirming the dates, but these things will be happening, as well as we would really want to have some speakers on top of other kind of topics that would be very interesting. For example, for first years especially, it would be very useful to have an introduction to oncology and the hallmarks and red flags. So other years would benefit from viruses and cancer relatability than some genetic aberrations. Some people are more interested in the surgical part of the oncology, so that will be introduced as well. Because oncology cannot be talked without the research, as that's the driving force of it, we'll try and incorporate more of the research content. So I'll be posting in the social media lots of topics such as signaling pathways, and the other treatment options that are coming and emerging. So that will be an interesting thing to tune off. And December, we will look at what it takes to become an oncologist and how everything happens. We'll try to get a person who actually is part of this to be talking. So that's one thing to look for. And charity is a very critical part of what we want to do, but it will be a bit different this year, for obvious reasons. But one thing we really want to kickstart is the Give It Up initiative. So why I'm so passionate about it is because we all have a lot of bad habits or some bad habits that we would like to get rid of. So what and how we want to do this. For example, me personally, I'm obsessed with buying coffee from UEA Cafe. So to avoid doing that, and when I don't buy that 2-pound cup of coffee, I will give that money to a Cancer Research UK, which has suffered a massive toll throughout this pandemic. So that's one massive thing you could do, not only for your benefit, but you'll be adding up for a great cause. And also, if you just write that in CV, this will look just absolutely great. So that's one thing we really want to do this year, and it's a good thing to do, to be honest, for these all circumstances. So the society membership costs only £2, but we will have lots of things going on, so it will be useful for all years, because the oncology runs throughout first to fifth year. We will have this occurring all the time. So yeah, that would be me and what we're planning to do. Again, drop us a message on any social media and I'll try to come back to you, or here now. Yeah, that's a short overview of me.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. It's going to be a very busy year by the looks of it, but lots of really nice things happening. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. So our next speaker is going to be, I think it's Katie from Anatomy SOC.
Hello, I'm Katie. I'm just going to try and pop up a presentation that I've done. Oh God, sorry. Yeah, so can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from Anatomy SOC. So just a bit about who we are. So there's 6 people on committee. We're all students. 4 of us are in at collating, and 2 are in 3rd year, and quite a lot of us have done stuff like SSS anatomy, so sort of know what's going to come up in exams and what's going to be the key points to know. And we're also in contact with all of the anatomy team, finding out what, obviously it's going to be quite different this year with how it's going to be taught, but they've given us information on sort of what's being taught and what we should go over in revision sessions. So what we're going to do this year is have revision sessions. These are obviously going to be majoritively online for the start of the year. But we're going to go over topics for each year group, hopefully before their exams and at a time which is sort of good for them. Covering sort of important topics and tricky topics. Anatomy is quite a big part of the course, and so it's going to be quite important to learn. We've also got loads of revision documents and stuff that we've compiled as a committee that are going to be available for you to use in your own time. And another thing we've been trying to bring in this year is some live drawing sessions. We're not quite sure how these are going to work at the moment, just because of like getting in a room or if you can do it over Zoom or whatever. But we're talking to Charlie, the sort of main illustrator anatomy person, for those of you who don't know him, about how to put on these sessions just for something a bit more relaxing and creative. But yeah, so to get membership, if you just go through the SU website and search for MedSoc, it's £3, and that's going to be sort of free entry for the events, revision sessions, and all the online resources. So you can follow us on Facebook, UEA MedSoc. Don't go UEA Anatomy Society because it's an old page. There's also a new Instagram, UEA_anatomy_soc. And any questions you can email on anatomysoc1.uea@gmail.com. Yeah, that's me really. Thank you.
Great, cheers Katie. Next up, we've got our leadership in medicine. They're going to speak to you.
Yeah, that's us. I'm just going to wait for my Vice President Christine to share the slides. So give me one moment. There we go. Okay, hi guys. My name is Krishna and I'm the president of the Leadership in Medicine Society at UEA. Firstly, a huge welcome to you guys. We know this isn't the way we wanted to meet you, but hopefully we'll make this as comprehensive as possible. So Leadership in Medicine is actually a very new society to UEA. We're only in our first year of running, which means that our membership is going to be completely free to you guys if you want to join. I've set up a QR code over there where you can scan it and sign up to our mailing list. Right now, you can't actually buy a membership on the SU page. So if you want to sign up there, and then we can send you the details of that membership. When that comes out, you can do that. The reason why we founded this society in the first place was, given the whole climate of COVID-19, we realized that there's actually a lot, like leadership in healthcare is hugely underestimated, and we wanted to give people a chance to see the challenges that come with leadership and what it means for us and for different communities like BAME communities and women in medicine as well. So that's really why we started society in the first place. And I'm going to hand you over to Christine, who's going to go through the events that we have for the year. I think you're muted, Christine.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, couldn't find the mute button. So we're hopefully running 4 events this year, and we wanted to showcase some key areas which we think great leadership is important, and we wanted to showcase some amazing leaders that we can be inspired from. So here we have leadership in a pandemic, BAME in medical leadership, women in medical leadership, and leadership beyond the wards, which we'll be explaining in more detail in the next slides. Just a reminder to please follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook to keep updated with all the events. And if you could click interested or going just to keep updated with us. And also on our Instagram, we'll be sharing some current news within leadership in medicine as well.
Okay, so our first event is actually coming up quite soon. It's on the 8th of October, and it's about leadership in a pandemic. So we have 3 speakers. One is a GP partner, the other one is the regional coordinator for Norwich Primary Care, and the third one is on the WHO advisory panel for organizing the response to COVID-19. So they have some pretty good insights to share with you guys in a couple of weeks. So please click the QR code if you want to sign up to the Facebook event, and then you can just stay updated with any details as we post them. The next event, that's you, Christine.
Yep, so the next event is BAME in medical leadership. So we wanted to put this event on because we think there's a underrepresentation of BAME doctors in the medical leadership field. And we wanted to do this event to kind of try to close that gap. And we hope that the speakers can share their challenges and their successes to help bring awareness and also inspiration to us. So we've got quite a diverse panel with speakers from Melanin Medics, which is a registered charity for present and future Afro-Caribbean doctors, the South Asian Health Foundation, which is a registered charity promoting good health in UK's South Asian population, the Society of Chinese Medical Practitioners, which is a professional membership organization that promotes Chinese culture and education in the healthcare sector, and also the Syria Public Health Network, and they're addressing current and future health needs in Syria and the region.
So our next event is Women in Medical Leadership. And here we have really 3 different perspectives from 3 very talented women. We have one neurosurgeon who's here to speak to us about how she managed to go about neurosurgery training whilst having a family, as well as also being editor-in-chief for the Women in Medicine magazine. That's a national magazine. We have an orthopedic registrar as well, who's here to speak to us about how she coped in a more male-dominated, typically, field. And finally, we have an obs and gynae registrar who is really interested in women's health and taking a more holistic approach. So I think you guys will really benefit from that as well. And again, the QR code is up if you want to stay updated with that. I'm going to hand you over to our 2 social secs, Poppy and Saurav, who are going to take you through this slide.
So hello, if you can see me. So this one is going to be our big event that we're going to have in May. So hopefully we're going to have this one in person if possible, rather than any like online event, because this is our main one. And this is going to focus on healthcare professionals that have pushed boundaries, that have gone beyond what they would normally do, and to show you what they've done and how they've got to the point in their career that they're able to do what they are doing. I'll hand you over to Poppy, who will tell you a bit more about the speakers.
So we're going to have loads of speakers for this event, so from all different kinds of fields. So we've got leaders in space medicine, in medtech, medical research, medical education, expedition medicine, public health, and lots more. So the big reveal of which speakers are coming is coming soon, so keep watching the space.
Definitely click that QR code again if you want to stay up on that Facebook page to get updated about that. So yeah.
Just seen the question about the membership. So as we are a new society, we haven't been able to set up the membership on the SU's page. So what we've done is have a Google Sheet where you can sign up to our mailing list to keep updated. And then when we do get a membership link, we can send it all to you through email, we can send you updates through the mailing list for now. So that's the QR code on this page on the desktop email picture. And that will take you to the Google Docs Excel sheet where you can put your name and your email address so we can contact you. Krishna, I think, yeah.
Yeah, send it on the chat as well so that you guys can click that if that's more convenient.
Hope that clears that up. Is there any other questions? No. Yeah, so just wanted to say thank you for listening, and please follow us on all social media to keep updated. Facebook to see the events particularly, and also on Instagram, as I said, we're not only keeping updated on our events, but we're also posting about new and upcoming news within the leadership field, and also feel free to email us as well.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Thank you very much, guys. It's really good to see so many events getting planned, and it's quite a different society. So yeah, no, really good to see it get set up in the next sort of few months. On to our next talk is from Students for Global Health at UEA.
Yeah, hello. I'll just share our screen. Okay. Okay, so hi, I'm Helen.
And my name's Cinti, and we're here just to try and get you to join Students for Global Health at UEA. And also, don't worry, we live together, so we're allowed to be this close. But starting off with who we are, Students for Global Health is a registered charity Our society has an overriding aim of creating a fair and just world in which equity in health is a reality for all. So we know this is quite a mouthful, but it's a lot simpler than it sounds, and it's not just for medics, so everyone is invited. So what do we do?
So on a more national level, there are 4 main conferences each year, with the next one on October the 17th, discussing the topic of displacement. This is being hosted by the University of Plymouth. But if you're interested, please get your free tickets online.
There's also opportunities to travel abroad, including for your future electives once they're back on.
And training events to build leadership skills.
Being part of a popular national society means there's lots on offer, but we've got a lot going on at UEA too.
So our first event is actually next Sunday. So we're co-hosting Bob's Big Quiz to give it a global health spin. But don't worry, it's not only about global health. So come along and try and win the £100 prize.
Then we have our suicide prevention evening, because Freshers is a really fun time, but we know everyone's experience is different. So we've collaborated with Headucate, which is UEA's mental health society, to break the silence and be the change. So come along, not just for you, but to look after your friends too.
So our main event of the year is our short course series. So this involves separate sessions on important global health topics, where we invite guest speakers to educate us on their field. So firstly, we'll be covering racism in the NHS and then homelessness.
And then next year, we're covering climate change and refugee health. All our events are free and you can get tickets over on the SU website. And because the earlier courses are going to be online, you can invite anyone along. Yeah, it's open to all.
So even with all of that, why should you join?
We're introducing a certificate scheme for our members this year, and they're all going to be signed by a UEA International Development Lecturer.
Being part of a national charity is an easy CV booster, and the national and international opportunities it brings are fun. And
lastly, with the second wave of the pandemic looming, we think global health is just going to continue to be a really important topic to learn about, and so should you.
So thank you very much for listening. These are our socials if you want to get in touch and find out more. Please check them out and ask us any questions and we'll try and answer them.
Great. Yeah, so very excited for Bob's Big Quiz as well. When are you co-hosting that?
It's the 4th of October, so like not this weekend, next Sunday.
Great, perfect. Is that going to be virtual?
Yeah, it has to be online.
Yeah. Sounds really good.
Thank you.
Moving on, we've got student MedAID UEA. Give you a quick talk.
Hey, I'm just going to try and work out to share my screen, hopefully. Slideshow. You'll see that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my name is Alyssa. I'm a second year med student now at UEA. And today I'll be talking to you a little bit about Student MedAID UEA, which is an up and coming society and branch for charity this year. So who are we? We're entirely student led. This charity was actually started at the University of Edinburgh in 2008, and they've since spread out to loads of different branches all over the UK, Glasgow, Aberdeen, Nottingham, Manchester, London, and we've now got a new one starting up at UEA in Norwich as well. So we do what it says on the slide. We coordinate the redistribution of medical equipment from the UK to under-resourced institutions abroad. In other words, we take donated equipment that's unused or unwanted from the UK now from lots of different healthcare settings, and we collect it, store it in our storage rooms in the different branches, and when the time comes we redistribute this equipment to normally kind of third world countries overseas. And this makes us really sustainable because we're reusing equipment that would otherwise just be normally put in the bin or wasted, and also we get lots of different people involved, whether you're a donor, whether you're one of the people that helps us to collect the equipment, speak out about the charity in non-COVID times, or if you're one of the people that helps to redistribute it overseas as well. So this is the process, kind of a really quick overview. We collect equipment, things like catheter bags, blood pressure cuffs, crutches, safety goggles, lab coats, sample bags, sample bottles, sorry, everything like that from hospitals, NHS and private. care homes, pharmacies, GP practices, even members of the public as well, who might have been caring for a relative who sadly passed away, and now they've got loads of equipment that is still usable, but they wouldn't be able to use it anywhere else in the UK. So we collect it, make sure it's still in a good condition, and then we normally redistribute it via fourth year medical students on electives. So at the end of year 4, you do, I think it's a 4-week placement overseas, and students tend to pick third world countries. So before you go overseas to hospitals, you can ask them if they'd like a donation of equipment and what particular equipment they would like, and we'll see if any of the branches have stock of it, and then student MedAID UEA or any of the other branches will subsidise the cost of you taking a box full of equipment to the hospital that you're going to have your elective in. We also do it via humanitarian health workers and non-governmental organisations as well, but our main method of redistribution is via medical students. Here's a map that shows all the different places that student MedAID UEA has been able to go to so far. Since 2008, it's quite impressive, and it really does show that if you do become a volunteer with this charity, that you can actually have a truly international impact. Here are some pictures from the Edinburgh branch who started it all off. They're the head branch that kind of supervise all of the other branches in the UK. And we don't have any pictures yet from UEA because we haven't started yet. We're not a fully approved or fully set up society yet under the student union, but we're nearly there. And when opportunities arise to become a volunteer and join our society, they'll be announced on the social media pages, and you'll start seeing us on the SU page and stuff. So yeah, this kind of gives you a little bit of a flavour as to what we do, all the collections and how many people we can get involved as well, whether that's if you're a volunteer actually going to go and collect the equipment from donors, helping us in our storage rooms, speaking out. There'll be loads of opportunities to come and help out, and loads of fundraising events as well that you can take part in. Membership, because we are a charity and you would be a volunteer, we're going to try our absolute best, and it's 99% certain that there will be no membership fee because you're a volunteer and you shouldn't have to pay to be a volunteer. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I've managed to convince you to try and join Student MedAID UEA when opportunities arise. So thank you. Has anyone got any questions? Or you can leave them in the Q&A box and have a look at them.
Well, really good, like, novel idea, but sort of straightforward, but really important. So definitely really good stuff.
Thanks, Rory.
Perfect. So we've got a 5-minute break. It's our last break before our last 5 speakers come in. So I recommend have a stretch, do something to sort of have a drink. We know it's a really long time. We recognise that you're unlikely to stay throughout, but the thing is, the importance of this is that it's going to be there so that you can look back at it and have a look at.
Yeah, it's going to be posted on Blackboard sometime. We're not sure where just yet, but make sure to keep an eye out for updates from us in the med school.
I think what we look to do is probably look to get some timestamps as well, labelled with who's speaking where, and then you can easily spot.
Yeah, so we'll go through this recording and make sure.
So I'll just so we're not, it doesn't look like it's the stream or the call has ended. I'll just share my screen, have a quick chat to you about some of the other things that we've talked about previously on some of the introductory lectures that we've provided, especially for new students. So Students' Union, it's in the Union House. There's the Hive there, and the runoff to the LCR. Unio is up and running, even though COVID has changed the Hive quite a lot. Normally you'd expect some really cool food stalls there, and some very interesting dances that you've got to sort of work your way around. Normally there's a thing called a nap nook in there, and it is honestly just a room full of comfy places to sleep for students, and it's really good. Naturally with COVID, that would be a horrendous idea to keep it going, so it's now an office, but we imagine they'll bring that back.
Yeah,
definitely worth being familiar with this place, though at the moment it's not going to be as useful as it normally is. SU Bar. So SU Bar is a really good place to go to meet people, to chill with your household, get to know your flat more. Red bar and blue bar are places that you can just chill, and there's Scholars Bar, which is a postgraduate bar upstairs for postgrads only, because it keeps undergraduate plebs out. It's still open on campus. The new rules apply to them.
It's open until 10 p.m. From today.
Yeah, definitely recommend popping in and having a look at that and chilling with your housemates or meeting some people. You'll probably see committee members in there throughout. So if you do see us and you've got any questions or you just want to say hi, do say hi. Going over just the LCR, it's not really running as normal in the day. It's an extension of the Hive, and at night or into the evening, afternoon, evening, it's an extension of the bars that you can normally sit. It's hosted really decent and varied bands throughout the years, like Stormzy, Lewis Capaldi, and although I think he had a sore throat, Wolf Alice, people like that. Really good place to go. You get to chill with basically your whole cohort, because it is a club on campus. Do keep an eye out for this, but this will be something that's not going to happen in the near future or happen later. Student Union, the square. So the square won't look like this anytime soon. This looks like my barrow. It's really good on Derby Day, where we have like competitions, sports competitions, and everyone celebrates in the square. Definitely worth chilling there with some people. It'll be in small groups as per under 6 of you, but you can see people from a distance, and definitely still somewhere to go. If it's not raining, if it's a nice day, get a drink and have a seat there. Campus kitchen is the meet up with mates, places to get somewhere, a bite of food to eat. It's called Vista. And the street, if you've not visited the street yet, do have a look. You've probably walked through it, but there's some stuff. Waterstones, we don't recommend buying the books necessarily, the medical books from Waterstone, but you can if you want.
Find them on, sorry, I was about to say with books, you can find them on the UEA MedSoc education group, where people will be selling their second-hand books, or you can just go to the library and take out a book yourself there.
Yeah, definitely. So lots of free ebooks in the library, or some really, really cheap, good deals from older students selling their books. SU shop, it's a bit odd at the moment because you have to always have a basket. It's how they count their numbers in and out, but yeah, it's somewhere to go if you suddenly think, oh, I want a meal deal, or some small bits like that, or some spiced Chinese radish called a mooli. But other than that, there's yeah, it's just there. Barclays and Career Central, they are.
They got some cash there.
And quickly, just to fill up the time so it doesn't look like we're completely gone, we'll just give you a quick thing. You might have been into the medical school now. You go into it more often in later years, but yeah, it's worth being familiar with where that is. We've got Queen's there, which is a lecture hall, which is somewhere that you'll spend some time, but of course with everything being, well, most things being virtual, there's less time spent here. And when, after semester 1 hopefully, but at a later date, when you have full cadaveric dissections as a group, that's in the basement of Queen's, and that's where you're going for anatomy. But I think most of it is sort of pro sections and virtual at the moment, but yeah, you'll get that in the future at some point. So final stretch to hand over to these really interesting and quite varied societies coming up now, and they're really quite active. So I'll hand over to African and Caribbean Medical Society.
All over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll just share my screen. Hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, my name is Zen. I am the Vice President from African Caribbean Medical Society. And yeah, I'll just be talking a little bit about kind of what we do, our vision, and how you can get involved, if that's cool. So we're a new society on campus, and we was inspired by King's College London's Afro-Caribbean Medical Society, but also Melanin Medics, which is a registered charity and has been going on for a while. It was actually Leanne, who's a second-year med student, biomedical science grad from KCL, who founded us. And it was only in April this year when we got a full committee, and we've all been working really hard to bring you events this semester and the next. So yeah, stay tuned for what we've got coming up soon in the next slides. So yeah, this is committee. We wanted to have a committee from like representative for every single year. Obviously, that's not possible with year 1 because they wasn't here. But yeah, this covers years 2 to 5. So hopefully you'll know one person from committee from your year. But I'm aware that most of you guys are freshers. But yeah, if you see us around campus, feel free to say hi and ask how you can get involved. So you're probably thinking like, what are we actually going to be doing? So our main vision for society is generally just to create a space where we can share and support each other and just bring awareness to issues affecting the Afro-Caribbean community, but also the medical community as a whole. So that includes things like the attainment gap, barriers to education, racism, harassment, just inequalities within healthcare as a whole. And we'll also be drawing on medical education with some community talks, which I'll show you in the next few slides, and also like some exam preparation quizzes. We do encourage like everybody to get involved, particularly medical students, but we are a medical society for all health courses, but our revision sessions will be tiered to med school because they'll be kind of looking at exam questions that we think you're likely to see in exams coming up, so they'll be really useful for you to get involved in. And I can't stress enough how we want to be as inclusive a society as possible, so like anyone can join and get involved. Yeah, and we'll also be having lots of exciting collaborations with the very popular ACS, African Caribbean Society, on campus, I hope. So our most recent event, our closest event coming up is the meet and greet, which is on the 25th of September, which is actually tomorrow. It will be at 6:45, and you can use the QR code just on the right to get your ticket. So that will take you like to an Eventbrite page, and then you'll be able to get a free ticket for the event. And then we'll send you a Zoom link, and you can also get involved in the WhatsApp group chat if you're on our if you're on our chat. But I'll give you a link to that in a sec as well. This is just a chance for you to like meet committee, but also meet each other rooms and having like icebreakers and games. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a really cool night tomorrow. So yeah, get involved if you want to. I'm sure it'll be cool. So kind of our next the summer is bringing a mentorship scheme, and that will be for year 4 and year 5 students exclusively, and this is just to help them with their transition into working as a foundation doctor. And we'll be assigning each year 4 and year 5 medical student with an F1 or F2 doctor for that academic year. And yeah, we'll be having more details on that soon. So yeah, if you get on the group chat, then and you're in year 4 and year 5, then yeah, we'll be sending you details about that soon. Our other events, obviously we have the meet and greet tomorrow, and we'll also have the How to Survive First Year, which is going to be really cool. So we'll just be like sharing experiences and reflections on first year from the perspective of older medical students. And yeah, just for you to get an insight into advice on revision style and useful resources you can use and what we use to get through the year. And yeah, we just want to keep it real. So yeah, get on our socials, and we'll give you the link to that one too. And then briefly, just the last 3 events are Coronavirus 19 and the African Caribbean community. We'll be looking at sickle cell disease awareness and potentially a Christmas themed social, depending on how things look at Christmas. But yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. So yeah, that was kind of like a whistle-stop tour of what we've got coming up. Here are some QR codes you can use. We have a freshers group chat specifically for freshers, and we have like a group chat for all students. As I mentioned, like we want to be as inclusive a society as possible, and our events will cater to everybody, regardless of what year you're in, and that includes our revision events. So yeah, use those codes respectively to whatever year you're in. And then our Instagram's like popping right now, so yeah, get on there as well. And all our events are also on our Insta. Yeah, I'll welcome any questions at the end, but yeah, thank you for listening.
Great, thank you very much. I see that your Insta's been really good, and especially with the walkthroughs of posting.
Yeah, absolutely. How do I stop sharing? Oh, yeah.
Perfect. So Following that, we've got Norwich MedED going to give you a talk now. Which else is here?
Oh, can you hear me? And you can see me. Oh yeah, okay. All right, so hi guys. First of all, just want to give you a big warm welcome to UEA. Hope you guys are settling in okay. So I'm Jules, I'm a 4th year, and this year I'll be helping run Norwich MedED. Can you guys, okay, if you can't hear me, just let me know and we'll try and sort it out. So who are we and what do we do? So Norwich MedED was founded in 2017 by Tanya Tar. She's an ex-UEA student, and she's currently in FY1 at Norfolk and Norwich Hospital. And our aims are basically threefold. So what we want to do is provide kind of high yield and useful revision sessions for not just first years, but all years, 1 to 5. And we also want to create peer-to-peer learning opportunities. So what that means is, ideally, our revision sessions, we want to be run by students or for students. So usually higher years teaching the lower years. And finally, we kind of aim to create this community where everyone's sharing knowledge and everyone's kind of helping each other out in a very informal and non-judgmental way. And this is usually done through our Facebook kind of page, or even if you see us around campus, we'll be happy to answer any questions. So our plans for this year, they're the main 4 ones which will be happening, and I've kind of grayed out the ones which aren't really relevant to you guys as first years. The one you should be looking forward to is our supporting first year series. Essentially what this is, it's going to be online because of COVID, obviously, but it would just be a series of Zoom calls kind of tackling certain topics, and kind of ideas we have so far are how to make the most of primary care and secondary care placement. So kind of a couple tips and advice on how to best or make the most of it. Other things we've got coming up is what are OSCEs and how to best prepare for them. I appreciate that you guys probably don't know what they are and have never really done them before, so hopefully you'll find that useful. And thirdly, this will be probably later on in the year, so it will just be revision tips and advice for end of year writtens. So we'll be going through like the key kind of topics in mod 1 and mod 2, and answering any questions you guys have or want to bring to us. So yeah, that's kind of like the rough outline of this year. In terms of memberships, we don't have a membership fee. We try and make things, all our events, like free and accessible to everyone. So I guess the only thing I'd like you to do is, if you want to get involved and keep updated, is just go onto our Facebook page. So just go onto Facebook and type in Norwich MedED. You'll be able to find us. Give us a follow and like, and then I guess you'll be kept in the loop about any future announcements or upcoming events. That's all I have to say. If you guys have any questions, just let me know and I'll try my best to answer them.
Great, thank you very much, Giles. Yeah, Norwich MedEd events have always been really, really good and really well received. So yeah, definitely a popular for exams, presses. Yeah, so moving on, we'd just like to introduce the Christian Medical Fellowship to give us a quick chat.
Hello. So I'm Pip and this is Megan. Hello. And we're here to talk about the Christian Medical Fellowship, or the CMF. And I've got a PowerPoint. Which one? Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah, so Christian Medical Fellowship.
Yeah, so we're a society that's part of a national network of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals. And sort of the whole mission statement of the organisation is for Christian healthcare professionals. So the mission statement is to glorify God by uniting and equipping Christian doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals, and students to live and speak for Jesus Christ in our everyday lives. So as a society of Christian medics, we support people through their degree, looking at the different issues that arise as Christians and also as medics. And we also have links with junior doctors as well, so we're not just students, it's also doctors. So some of the events that we put on include dinners and talks. So we have a lot of ethical discussions covering topics like bioethics, euthanasia, and last year we had one called Why Would a Good God Allow Pain and Suffering? Some of the other events we've put on include prayer breakfasts, barbecues, and then this year it's more likely we're going to be having Zoom calls because of the restrictions. So yeah, we have lots of different events. Some of them are just for students, other ones we have in conjunction with junior doctors. So that's really great because you get to make links and meet people working in the hospital who can give you great advice.
Yeah, and those events, you don't have to be like an official member to join them, but yeah, those are all like free. But then if you do get the official national membership, you can get stuff like the Nucleus, which is a student publication by students for students, and you can see a couple of examples at the side. And it comes about once every term. A lot of them are online at the moment, and the freshers edition is on the CMF Norwich Facebook page. So if you join that, you can go with that. And at the other side is the Triple Helix, and that's just the CMF flagship publication, which you will get as well. Another great thing is the bookstore, and a lot of the books are a bit cheaper than from elsewhere, and there's a lot of interesting stuff. These ones are just like previous Norwich students who have accumulated up, so it's like kind of a little library. So if you see any of them that catch your eye and want to borrow it, just feel free to message me. Also, normally, of course, it's going to be different, but normally in February we go to a big student conference where we get to meet lots of other people from different medical schools, and there are really amazing seminars and talks and lots of really fun activities. There's a lot that CMF gives, but then yeah, if you go on the official website, you can see lots of resources and stuff, but a couple of other notable ones are CMF podcast, Saline Solution, which is a tiny course, some training tracks, and a lot of them are actually send you overseas, which is quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, so if you're interested in joining CMF, we have a Facebook group, CMF Norwich, which, where we have all our communication. And we're also doing a welcome Zoom call on the 3rd of October, and the details of that will be on the Facebook page. If you're interested in the CMF as a national organisation, they have their own website, and you can become an official member through their website, but you don't have to be an official member to come to our events.
Yeah, and at this side, I just put a tiny YouTube video, which is made a couple of years ago for previous people talking about what CMF has done for them and stuff like that. So yeah, we're the Christian Medical Fellowship. We're really excited to meet you, and do get in touch if you've got any questions, and join the Facebook page. Thank you. Thanks.
Great, thanks guys. Yeah, lots of sort of extras and resources there. So that's pretty good. Thank you very much for having a chat. Next up, we've got Headucate to give us an update, and I know that they're up to a lot at the moment. Really excited to hear.
Thank you, Rory. So I'm joined by James. We're from Headucate UEA committee. Thank you everyone so much for waiting all of these hours. We can imagine it's not really the best, but we're going to tell you a bit about Headucate, and James is just going to set up our PowerPoint. So we are the UEA's Mental Health Awareness Society. We are very proud to be affiliated with the Royal College of Psychiatrists as well. So if anyone is interested in psychiatry as a specialty, then this is definitely the place where you should be. We're really excited that recently we launched promotion for an event happening in a couple of months where we've got some great endorsement, and we're just going to show you some of our video. It might be a bit laggy, but we hope it'll be all right.
Stephen Fry here. This is Greg James. I'm Sean Wallace, barrister and television personality. When I was at UEA, there was not enough mental health or care, but awareness certainly. Mental health is such an important topic, and with the current torrent of ill luck and stress, never has the issue needed to be brought more into sharp focus.
Wonder where the triple flavoured ramen is vegetarian or not. Oh well, the world's dying anyway. The static should subside at this point.
Well done. Doing a lot better than you realise.
I'm pleased and privileged to be associated with Headucate and UEA TV.
I'm really proud to work alongside Headucate and UEA TV to help spread the word.
I'm going to get back to my bath. Good luck, and I'll see you all soon.
So that is a little promotion of something that we're doing in a couple of months' time, and we've got loads of different societies involved. James is going to post some of our links to social media, and we've got a lovely new flyer that we want to show you. But something that we're really, really proud of this year that we wanted to share is we are really wanting to help medical students get published. So over the summer, we were really, really happy that we published something in the BMJ, Student British Medical Journal, to do with the work that we've been doing throughout the COVID pandemic. So at Headucate, the main thing that we do is run awareness workshops with children in schools surrounding mental health and breaking stigma. And we're really excited that we're not only running things with secondary school kids this year, but also with primary school children with Teddy Bear Hospital that you would have heard about earlier. And James is going to tell you a little bit more about our upcoming event.
Hi everyone, so you should join Headucate because we're a multi-award winning society. Last year we won Outreach Society by the Union, and we're also recognised as a national award last year. For upcoming events that we have the traditional welcome quiz night, which is on Monday. We also have our workshop training, so that will involve some safeguarding, and then a GP will be coming in to talk to us, giving us an overview of sort of what mental health you should be aware of in the workshops, and then also having the workshop specific training itself. We also have a suicide prevention evening, and on the left here you can see a photo of us featuring in the local newspaper with one of the workshops that we carried out in a school. On top of this, we do collaborate with other unis as well. So you can also see that we are working now with the Teddy Bear Hospital. So we'll be doing lots of workshops with primary schools as well. And other events that you should have in your diary that we're running, we have the mental health 24-hour live stream. And also we're trying to host our first ever mental health conference next year, which sadly was postponed with everything that was going on. But I think that would be a really good one to get in the diary as well.
Yeah, so as James mentioned, we work uniquely with the university, with different societies, with the local community. You can't get this anywhere else. Volunteering with us is the best experience that you will get with any of the outreach societies. We are working online, doing live interactive virtual webinars for the children, and the training for that, the evening, is in a week and a half time on Tuesday, the 6th of October. And once you've been to that training, you can literally volunteer with us throughout the whole year with the children, and you get a certificate for doing that. We're also really happy to be helping UEA run their medical aspirations residential stay, which is where prospective medical students come and stay at the UEA and do a program of different activities, and they asked us to help them with that last year, and we're doing that again. So these are so many different things that you can put on your CV. We also help you to get mental health first aid training at a really discounted rate, and you're certified as a mental health first aider for 3 years from that point. There's a QR code there to join us for the year. We've also got all of our social medias, and James has posted in the chat where you can buy your membership. If you've got any questions, feel free to post them and we'll be sticking around. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, no, it looks really exciting over the coming year. So yeah, really good. Thank you very much. We've got, last but certainly not least, we've got our first aid to give you a talk before we wrap things up and go from there. So.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Let me just screen share. My name's Sam. I'm from First Aid Society and I'm a third-year medic. You can see a slightly silly picture of me there. So our society has two different but inseparable sides. So we are a society under the union, and in that we do weekly training on first aid skills, so starting with CPR, recovery position, and you'll learn the skills, do practice scenarios and sessions and use some equipment. And this will include COVID secure adaptations to those bits and pieces. And then we'll build up looking at medical conditions, breathing problems, and sort of first aid management in the community, and build towards all aspects of pre-hospital care, including ambulance awareness, airway management, and different bits of patient assessment. We'll work alongside other societies like Paramedic Society and BSL this year to address all sorts of aspects of first aid, pre-hospital care. And as you can see, we are a society, we have socials, we have a laugh, it's very welcoming. We'll have guest speakers in, like you can see, we've got the East England Ambulance Service and some of our St John ambulance crews, and it's a more sort of informal side of it. And then if you really enjoy that, if you're extra keen, you can then join our associated St John Ambulance uniform unit, which will get you one of these snazzy looking bright green uniforms. You will do some more training with St John Ambulance and you will become an event first aider, and your role then will be to assess and treat independently and within a team patients at those events who need first aid, and that can be everything from somebody who needs a sticky plaster all the way up to cardiac arrest, acutely unwell patients that you have to assess and manage with a level of independence that you wouldn't tend to get in sort of any other volunteering opportunity you could do for a good few years as a medic. We have events all the way from your classic St John Ambulance school fete. Obviously, normally our unit's main event is covering the LCR. Obviously, that's a little bit different at the minute, but for your first term, you'd be mainly in that kind of training up phase, practicing, getting those skills in place. So you wouldn't be missing out much in that sense yet. And we do have other events. You can see Norwich City football, campus-wide events, and you'll get an opportunity to support the NHS and the community. You can see some of us were sent to Nightingale. You've got small community events, and St John have been involved with providing ambulances and all sorts of support cover during the pandemic. Once you're in St John and you've got some experience, there's some scope for you to move up in the organisation, do extra training, so you can become an advanced first aider, which in the role you'll independently give oxygen, use airway adjuncts, Entonox, splints and things like that. You can, once you're at that level or above, you can become a cycle responder, which is quite self-explanatory. You can see a couple of those at Derby Day there on that slide. And you can upskill to crew emergency ambulances for us, both at our events and in support of the NHS. And you can upskill to become an event manager, so leading a team of people on a shift. And that is some really good experience that, again, we're in a quite unique position to offer of developing that management and leadership skills. Also in St John, we have a programme where once you've done some OSCEs and got some student skills, you can get them signed off. And when you're operating under a registered healthcare professional, you can shadow them, you can work with them and do your kind of healthcare professional level assessments and treatments. So it's really great practice for being good at acute things. It's good, it's fun, and also the training is really good for your kind of BLS OSCE in year one, and so that when your flatmate is like, you're a medic, go help that person, you have done something, because sometimes in first year you might feel a little bit like you know, thrown into some of those situations. So we have got 2 taster sessions running. We have had our risk assessment approved by the Students' Union to have in-person taster sessions, I'm really happy to say. So week 1 and 2, so we're hopefully going to be in that big tent out by the Students' Union. So we'll be covering CPR in the recovery position and then wounds and bleeding. You will have to book a ticket, but that is absolutely free for anyone to come along to for the first couple of sessions. After that, we do ask that you get yourself a membership. So there's those taster sessions. I'll drop the links in the chat. You can see all our social medias. The Facebook is a group. Please do join. It's open. It will let you know what's going on. And the YouTube link is to our promo video for 2020. So I'll drop that as well. Please do take a look at that.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Sam. Yeah, so that concludes MedMart Part 2 and MedMart as a whole now. So this is just a run-up that I'll hand over to either Alex or Hadj if they're free. Just to say thank you very much. Any questions can go either to the societies or we can pass you on to the right people to ask any questions. And just a reminder, probably from Alex, as to why what we do as MedSoc to help facilitate all these things.
Yeah, okay. So, as a society, MedSoc does many things to support all the other medical societies at UEA. I mean, one of them you've just witnessed, we put on MedMart, but we also offer a societies grant, which means that any society can apply to receive a bit of funding from us. It doesn't have to be a new society. It can be a pre-existing one that needs some cash. And yeah, and on top of that, we help advertise events for other societies. We help give them advice if they need any. And yeah, just stuff like that, really. I don't think, have I missed anything, Hadj? Or
yes, you mentioned the societies grant. Yeah, I'm trying to think, because I'm answering this question at the same time from Needy, who's said, where can I find the freshest handbook for MedSoc? Because the Facebook link isn't working. We will upload it to the website ASAP.
Yeah.
I can also put a link on here if that's still not working. Give me a second.
But yeah, I think.
So what I'll do now is I'm just going to end the recording, and then all this, or after we finish, we'll go up on Blackboard like we've all said.
Yeah.